Alrighty, sorry about the delay, y'all. Had to take up care of a couple of things. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the stream today. For some reason, my camera's always been blurry, but it's fine. How's it going? Hope you guys have enjoyed yourself today for the likes of this fine Monday morning, or Monday night. Oh man, it's been a long day. It's been a long, tiring Monday, so I hope you guys are ready to wind down with the likes of some D&D for each and every single one of you guys. Today we got the likes of Valley of Dreams, so I hope you guys are ready to continue the shenanigans of last week, or not last week's, but a couple of weeks ago's sort of epic sort of tale, as we were leaving off the likes of Zaman being mind controlled or something happening to them with the likes of these strange mineral form and more. So I hope you guys are ready for all of that. It's gonna be ridiculous. All right, besides that, no real announcements, so let's get straight into the game and more. All right, let's do this. So I'm going to unmute on deafen and see what the heck everybody's talking about. All right.
The lobster mac and cheese, is he?
Yo.
Yeah, it was like Gouda. I think it had to be like some Gouda in there. That's like Gouda mac and cheese, right?
Let me just say, Sensei, this was the most
pretty
wholesome hot mic ever. Like we was.
Oh, that's because all the negative energy is gonna happen in game.
Fact. I see.
That's why.
Gotta save it.
Just blame
me.
Right, bro. Hey, that kind of wholesome hot mic.
Danny's
that is not a normal thing.
Danny is like the avatar for evil right now, so you can't even have that negative energy because he's holding it right now. He has it all.
Let me see. Boop. Is this one?
You can see the way he's looking at us. Trying to cut his paws here.
Trying to fix. Oh, is that one? Yeah, I can work with this. All
I'm
right.
surprised how calm he is.
Are you?
No, he's already
showing the dog
like 20 times.
Here, let me. I guess we got a dog barbershop cam. There we go.
We got dog cutting.
Dog
We
cutting
got it
in
all.
the background. Everything. You never know. We had bunnies at one point in Project Aurora. Now we got dogs in the background from Fish and Tito.
Dog haircuts.
All right, y'all. Everybody's loaded into Foundry and everything, right?
Yep.
I'm looking at the dog and I'm like, that's Gore right there. Gore on the inside looks just like that. She's a scared little dog.
This man is not scared. This man is harboring evil.
Nah, he straight up is like, he's definitely like Damien, like the son of the devil, bro. He's not.
Do I want to know what Judgment of the Heavens that hits Gashir is?
Nah, don't worry about that.
Oh, okay.
No, don't worry about that.
Judgment of the Heavens.
All right. Well, in the meantime, ignoring past that, trust me, Kane, your math, your sensei is perfectly fine and normal, right? Perfectly fine. All right. In the meantime, let's do this, y'all. Play the music. There we go. So, if I could have each and every single one of you all gather around the table and let me tell you all a Voden fable. To gather around for the tale of these survivors, the tale of a looming corruption and that of a jaded destiny. For this, my friends, be the infamous tale of the Valley of Dreams and the legendary tale of the Soul Bound. Here, previously, the Voden Knights would discuss business on the upcoming tournament on the Bioni Island. Here, they discuss the likes of sponsorships and individuals competing in these lands. As they discuss their next plan of action, they think of their next journey and also their next goal. Questions were raised on whether they should concern themselves with the likes of the Zhao dynasty up towards the north, or should they travel to the jungles of the valley in the west. Ultimately, the Knights would decide that before they could leave the village for any long period of time, it'd need to be able to sustain itself in their absence. They'd need to turn this into a self-sufficient society that was protected from any more threats. With that, Cora, Agni, and Old Man Philo would begin to purify a portion of the mushroom forest to the east. Meanwhile, Azor would train the Myconid warriors into that of true soldiers. However, as all of this was occurring, outside the village, Gore, Adidar, Zaman, and Trog would go on a hunt of the sorts. A hunt to go find a hunt to go find materials as well as Nazgul specialty bots for experimentation. However, on the hunt, Zaman, our Warforged druid, would be asserting his will on the robots, and while this was happening, something would be off. Something would be strange as he'd hear a voice enter his head as the minerals begin to consume him from within. What this means, well, we'll have to all find out in session 15 of the Valley of Dreams. And that, my friends, we pick back up exactly where we left off. We swing on over to a new map and a new journey. All right, so I'm gonna stop this, and we're gonna stop this. Bam, bam, bam. And we're gonna move this, and we're gonna do that. There we go. Alrighty, so I don't think anybody had a preference, but did y'all really care about which group that we started off with, whether it was Azora or Agni and everybody, or just Simon and the crew? Any preferences or not?
No preferences.
All right. Well, if that's the case, let's start us off over on the fishing trip gone wrong. All right, I'm gonna send you guys over to the map with Zaman and everybody else. Fishing, and there we go. Wrong thing. Playing the wrong sort of thing. Goddamn. All right,
I was like, damn, the fight music playing already?
Yeah.
You remember where they left off?
That is true. I mean, who knows? I might need to replay it in a second because knowing Addy Dark, we gonna see.
And Gore, you know, everyone here has just been hitting each other.
That is very fair. That is very fair. All right. So as we pick
That
back
bear
up,
owl- That bear owl was in the wrong streets. Met the defenders. It was a bad day for that one.
oh man. So as we look back, Zaman, you're in the processes of sort of taking over this strange robotic owlbear. The minerals have sort of collected over on top of them, and as they drop down to the ground, sort of incapacitated, you stand there feeling strange, as if something just sort of invaded into your mind. You heard this almost sinister and demonic voice, but it seems to have faded for now. Regardless, as the bear drops, Addy Dark, Gore, you look over, and as the owl bear up towards your north has been slain, the other one down below, it drops down unmoving and more. You look around, there isn't anything attacking you at this moment. The choice is yours on what you all would like to say or do in this moment in time.
Do I feel like I have control over this owlbear now?
Yeah, I guess, like, how does that situation look to us? Like, does it look like he's resolved it, or is it officially he ran the timetable that me and Addy gave him to handle that bear?
So looking over here, Zaman kind of has like his hands sort of extended. The minerals are clinging towards it, and the owlbear has completely dropped down, almost off to its side, even. Especially because I believe it was Addy Dark who sort of shoved him onto the ground anyways. So the owlbear seems to not really be moving. It's just sort of sitting there in a kind of dormant state. Not attacking, not swiping. Whatever Zaman did, either he killed it or he subdued it for the time being. Now,
All right. Okay.
That said, you can do or take that information with as much as you wish. You have no idea how minerals or, the robots work, so it's up to you.
Not at all. So I guess after we just gave this bear the business. I think Dora would look over to Addy and be like, "Furry feather one, do you think the greedy one's done? His time is up." Dramatic pause.
The dramatic pause for Addy Dark.
Or is he frozen?
He's frozen, that's why. Stasis.
That was the most dramatic pause.
Yeah, I'm frozen. Bro.
Loading.
What happened? Oh, this is strange.
He is in the shadow realm, my friend.
Well, right now he's losing.
In the meantime, you'll see as Troggle sort of begin to start moving up out of the sort of bushes and more. You'll see as he like gauges the area, seeing if there's any other combatants on the field before looking to see if both or you guys are able to kill your owlbear, and making sure that the owlbear down below where Zaman is dealing with is also not too hostile. Keeps his distance, but he still is walking up a little closer. I guess while you're asking that, Zaman, what are you saying or doing? And we'll come back to Gore and Addy in a second.
Zaman would say, I have this one under control. Just harvest whatever you need from the other one. I guess he'll see if he can get this owlbear to maybe follow a command. He'll say rise.
Try to tell it to rise, and as you begin to do so, you try to extend your hand and try to see if you can command it to do something. As you do, Zaman, you hear this voice in your head.
He doesn't listen to you now. He does what I say, and what I say is that he still remains on the ground. Now silence, and do as I say. Do you understand?
And with that, Zaman, as you're sort of mentioning this, you feel as if your hand just forcibly drops down to your sides for a moment. You look over, and Gore and Addy Dark, you see as Zaman just sort of stands still for a moment. He was saying something, and then just stopped. Eventually, Zaman, you sort of begin to look down towards the ground. You're trying to understand what the heck is going on. You feel as if you can't necessarily move your body, your arms, your legs for a second before immediately you just feel yourself almost being crumpled down, being pressed down upon your shoulders as you feel this strange sort of force. It doesn't feel external. It feels almost as if you're doing it, but mentally you're not telling your own body to sort of do it. As you drop down to one knee and drop down forcefully to a second knee before you're almost on all fours for a moment, immediately you feel this sort of strange sort of sensation in the likes of your chest. Unsure of what the hell is going on before you begin to almost heave in pain for a moment and regain the likes of control over your body. Whatever that was, you didn't choose to do it. Something else did.
So to us, does it look like he's just like doing the robot? Is he just like popping and locking? Does he look like really right now?
Pretty much, he was just talking, and then he just randomly his arm just sort of shot down, and then he just dropped down to all fours for whatever reason.
Greedy one, you hunt in odd ways. I think Gore would be just more confused because he was letting him rock to do what he was gonna do.
Sorry, I was in and out there, but it's to my attention that Zaman is incapacitated by an owl, or is he just? We don't know. He just looks.
No, he said the owl was cool and he's got control of it, and then he started popping and locking.
Pretty much.
He like shut down.
It kind of looked like he kind of shut down for, or Zaman kind of shut down for a second, but
I guess I'd look to Gore and say, does he typically get this romantically involved with things he tames?
Honestly, furry feathery one, he's never tamed one in front of Gore.
Oh, should we be giving them some alone time, perhaps?
You said what?
Should we give them some alone time, maybe?
Perhaps he needs to be more intimate with his prey. Let's work on this one.
Yeah,
you'll hear Strog just say, he's strange hunter. Very strange.
Gore learned to never question a man's hunt. We all get our needs in different ways. Really what is God as is.
Frog is just gonna look at you, Gore, and just go, okay. And he's just gonna go help you guys, whatever you're doing. He's gonna let whatever's happening over there just happen. Zaman, what are you doing?
Zaman. Zaman is not happy with this, so he's going to ignore this voice for now and continue to try to make this owlbear do as he's commanding.
As you do, begin to slowly see as, and what exactly are you telling it to do or commanding it to try to do?
He's trying to get it to stand, and then he's going to try to mount it.
All right. As you do, make an animal handling check with advantage for me.
Shift for advantage has been a while.
Alt. 23, pretty good. As you do, you begin to try to use the minerals around him or already collected to his body, and you try to almost forcefully move their legs and arms. As this happens, you see as they begin to slowly set themselves upright, and as they do, you see as they begin to sort of look towards you for a moment, and they have this strange sort of green hue or green coloring in the likes of their eyes. As it sort of shines out, you notice as the sort of force field around them begins to drop. And with that, they are pretty much responding to you for the first time. They seem to be acting upon your movements. They seem to be reacting to whatever you say or do. Try to mount it.
Yep.
As you do, you see as the individual does not sort of react, and it allows it to happen as you place yourself on top of the giant owlbear individual. Look around and, seems that it'll do for the time being. Do you just try to like walk around on it or force it to walk?
Yeah, he's just strictly gonna try to control it and kind of. I see as he's like in his mind, he's like playing a video game. He's like using joysticks to try to like move this creature.
It is definitely strange. It's kind of like, on that sort of video game note, if you ever played like with inverted controls and you didn't expect it to be inverted controls, you're trying to figure out how the hell this thing works. You kind of try to motion it forward, but then end up motioning it backwards and try to tell it to turn left, and it ends up turning right or completely turning around. As this is sort of happening, Gore and Addy Dog, you are both hella confused on what is going on over here. But regardless, Zaman's having his fun with the robots again, so hey. But Zaman, you're making a little bit of progress for sure.
Copy.
Right. That being said, Gore.
Try to get any pieces. Gore would try to get anything cut off that bear, and he ain't going to disturb that man's hunt.
All right.
He's never seen it before, so he thinks this is just some weird reading way of doing things.
All right. So you're trying to like scavenge the owlbear that you and Addy killed, right?
That's correct.
All right. Addy, if you can either you and Gore make survival checks, or you can give one of you guys advantage. Your choice.
I can just roll survival, I guess.
All right, go for it. All right, that's 20, 23, and a 6. We'll take the 23, and with that, I'm going to try, with a little bit of teamwork, you guys are able to help each other out when it comes to skinning this animal, you grabbing the likes of its leather for maybe a pelt for the future, as well as figuring out what you can use it for when it comes to food. Now, this is a big animal, which will definitely help out in feeding a lot of the Voden Knights. In doing so, here's what you guys will gain. All right, and this is a, and then you guys also get leather, so nice. You get a total of 7 stocks of food from this single animal. It is a huge, hefty sort of haul, as you guys were able to successfully be able to get everything that is possible to eat off of this one owlbear. With that, you also get leather if you ever need it for any other things in the future, like crafting leather armor or anything like that. So you guys are good to go. As well as if you ever go to a colder climate, you can use this owlbear pelt to kind of help out with that, so you guys aren't freezing to death if you ever try to travel in the Azure Taiga for whatever reason. But regardless, the owlbear is scavenged, and you guys are good to go.
It's just a raw pelt, right? Not like a hat right now. I gotta make it a hat later.
Yeah, you'd have to make it a hat later.
You didn't notice.
You
I had to
already
collect
have a
that.
hat, bro?
Bro. Don't be. I got what I'm into, bro. You're into mating with little mechanical things. I'm into hats, bro. Let me do my thing.
All right. So, that being said, Trog will kind of look over towards you all and just saying, what is next for hunt? Is there other animal we need, or is this all?
Well, there was the fish. I think Zaman has this under control, as he says it, very questioning his own thought
Yes, I have it
Is-
under control.
there. Oh, you can talk right now?
Oh yeah, you can talk.
Oh shit! I thought you were like dazed or some shit.
Gore be like, the greedy one will let you be for your private moment. And Gore puts up his fingers like this and says, Hunt will take care of the fish.
Zaman will reply, yes, you know all about private movements, don't you, Gar? You and Ambrosi, correct?
Gore knows to respect one's privacy. We all like what we like.
Oh,
You think Gore would be for discrimination? Come on now. Come on now.
Yeah, he's just having a moment with Gore. We all know about private moments.
Trog is just gonna ask, who am Brosi?
God.
Gore knows her intimately.
I still can't think of what would be right for him. Trog is the hardest one to think of a name for.
Scaly one?
No, it's got to give him more credit than that.
Inaccurate one. That's the best thing.
Inconsistent one.
Oh man.
I would have called him the southern one.
Split tongue one. Oh no.
Zaman, while they're Zaman would say, you all have the ability to breathe in water, so catching these fish should be relatively easily. If we can have a handful of mechanical ones for Mal and our research, that'd be highly useful.
And Gore like,
I don't know about catching. It just seemed to be now. It's not, but I'll make sure to slay it.
That is clearly not what I asked.
Slay it is said.
Do as you want. I will catch my own fish then.
Gore would head towards the water, and for some reason, most of my map is gray. What's that?
Your map is great. What is with this group and that goddamn glitch? Huh. You could try to like load.
Towards the water.
Yeah, load. You can load back in or whatever here. I'll move your character for the time being, but I'm gonna kick you out of the game and then you can join back in a second. Oh, why? It's been a thing. I haven't dealt with that with other groups. I don't know why. Anyways, as you guys are, or as you're sort of heading to the water, if anybody's following him, you notice as there is a little bit of a small pass with a little, or multiple bridges and more. There seems to be a sort of central island, but up ahead on this sort of main island, you'd notice as there are beautiful sort of or cherry blossom trees and more off to the side. There seems to be a statue of the sorts towards the north with a almost kind of like an altar, if you will, or some sort of prayer site or offering site, whatever it may be. You at least notice it. And looking around and about, if you guys are looking for fish, you can make a perception check to try to see if you see any ones like hanging outside the water. But if you're gonna want to really look for them, you're probably gonna need like a fishing rod or some other means of capturing them. 11. All right. And then Gore, here, I'll just roll the perception check for you for the time being. 3. Nah, not right now. Looking about, the fish are, if they are here, they're probably submerged somewhere. So You're gonna need to get a little bit crafty in how you're gonna try to or capture these guys. All right.
How far away is the altar? I still can't see. How far away is the altar from like where we're at? Could Gore fly over to it?
Yeah, you can just fly over to it.
I can't see it, so I'm just gonna trusting you on that one.
Alright.
Gore would, if he got a bad perception check in the water, he would fly over to the altar and can I religion check that or arcana check anything like that?
Sure thing. Religion check. Yeah. So you look over towards this thing and let's see exactly what you find. 13. It's not bad. You would notice that this is a altar to a certain god or a certain deity, specifically the deity of affliction, Farika. She may be the serpent goddess typically of the likes of medicine crafting or as well as poison crafting. Typically any sort of thing that you could really be afflicted with, she is typically the person to be the cause. Sometimes people refer to her as the goddess of healing, others refer to her as the goddess of poison. Both are correct and also kind of incorrect.
What would like fairy folk look at her like?
Nothing, no direct ties to her or anything like that, but nothing too special when it comes to her. If anything, it'd be fairy folk or the fae in general be like, oh well, maybe when it comes to the affliction, afflicting individuals with like charm spells or any sort of trickery effects and all that stuff, it could be, some may decide like, oh, maybe this is Farika's will, but most of the time they would probably refer to Fanax first rather than Farika, if anything.
Knowing how Gore looks at it, would he be able to? Would he think that his axe coming back with all the sparkles and stuff like that would be a little bit of her doing?
Nah, probably not.
All right, bet. Well, if he knows enough for potion thing, he would put one of the medicine resources down on the thing.
All right. As you do, you place it towards the altar of Farika, as you give thanks to the serpent goddess. With that, Zaman, what are you doing off to the side? And we're going to come back towards Addy in just a second.
Zaman is going to attempt to get control. On mute. Okay. Zaman's going to continue to attempt to get control over this owlbear. He's going to want to use the owlbear to kind of hunt for these fish.
All right.
Mechanical fish.
As you're trying to do so, you're trying to like even get control of this thing to kind of like walk in the first place. As you do, you kind of get a little bit of a rhythm going on understanding exactly how to move at least forward or in one direction without it sort of steering you completely another way. As you do, you try to sort of motion and move the likes of the owlbear's sort of claws and try to almost swing them forth with a massive sort of swipe. Make an animal handling check. You have advantage because you already or controlled it from earlier.
B.
19, not bad. As you begin to do so, you take a little bit of a massive swipe with the owlbear. You see as the water begins to splash out for a bit, but this thing is definitely going to be not necessarily the greatest sort of hunter, because you're sort of trying to control it manually in this sort of case and process. It's going to be a long time before you can start sending these things out to hunt by themselves, but definitely something to look forward to in the future. As you do, you're kind of just again wading through the water and just sort of moving the likes of the owlbear's claws and trying to move it almost into the water to see if it reacts or anything like that. Running multiple experiments for the time being. As this is sort of happening, look towards Addy Dark. Addy, what are you doing off to the side? Oops.
So like I don't see any like air bubbles or anything, or some mosquitoes that perhaps would tell me that there are fish there of some sort. There's nothing. Okay.
Looking around, looking for a couple mosquitoes. Look about your perception check from earlier. You notice as there's only a handful, not too many, but enough for the time being to at least let you know that there are some fish here.
Okay. And I guess I'll just jump into the water and start swimming. You said I could breathe underwater. That's kinda cool.
Yeah. Where was it?
Can
I think that was
can I do a
Zamon's ability,
stealth
right?
check? Can I be a stealth check
Yeah.
so I can be like the predator, like a shark? You know.
Sure thing. So as you are, drop down, make a stealth check for me. 3. All right. You believe
Alright.
yourself to be hidden, even
Who was
though
I
it is a
kidding?
3.
Who was I kidding? I'm
That
coming
man's
in
out
hot.
there, yacha cha, nigga, looking like Jaws. Man, looking like Jaws out there, bro.
I'm coming, bro. With that, I will be cannonballing into the lake at that point.
As you do, you drop down, make a huge sort of splash, and you would see as immediately a couple of fish that were kind of in the general area, they begin to start soaring off to the side and begins to start swimming a little bit of ways away from you. As this is sort of occurring.
I want to swim as far down as I possibly can.
All right. As you're doing that, you're swimming as far as you possibly can. Make a perception check for me, Addy. 6. Oh, this is gonna be fun. All right,
Bro,
you continue to jump down and continue swimming, and we'll see what happens when we get back. So while you guys are doing this sort of hunt off to the side over here, we look over towards the others, or back towards the village, but a little bit towards the outskirts of said village with Old Man Philo, Agni, and Cora. All right. So, as you three begin to finish up the likes of your prayer and sort of the cleansing process of this mushroom forest, trying to at least get rid of the corruptive or more tainted mushrooms and spores about, you see as they're slowly beginning to burn away, begin to falter, but with all things, this will take time. You look around and about, and it's only up to the fate of the divine for the time being. What do you two, Cora and Agni, say while you guys are finishing up over here?
I'll let you go first, Axe.
I think we should be good to go here for the time being. I probably would like to talk to the Sewer King again, seeing as cleansing this might grant us some favor with him. I'm interested to see if he's learned anything about the Zhao dynasty, but I'm not quite sure how to summon him. Probably something better for Gore or Azora. If we are done here, we can return back to the village. I have no other business here.
Very well. Go ahead, Cora.
No, go ahead.
No, that's all Philo had to say.
Cora will say, Agni, may I have a word with you alone? She's looking at Philo.
Yeah. Philo will look over and say, yeah, take your time. I'm going to look over and make sure this process is going as expected. With that, you'll
Thank
see
you for
as...
your assistance, Philo.
You'll see as he nods. You'll see as he begins to start lumbering over and kind of heading a little bit kind of towards the foresty area for the time being. That, you guys are alone to talk to amongst yourselves.
And then Cora would ask Agni, what color mark do you bear?
It's the same mark I've had since we've woken up. With a black star.
Do you know of Navro? Of someone named Navro?
I've heard the name. Never met the person.
Before we get into this, Sensei, should I don't want to spoil nothing, but should I keep going or just let it ride?
Let it ride,
Let it
brother.
Okay, cool.
Yo,
we knew. Did we know that Navro was the one that sent us that reply from the Ascent?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
he
was-
apologized for his deer-faced friend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he was the one who pretty much accepted offered their assistance.
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure. All right.
Um, I was told that Navra, who also, holds the Black Star, has killed a companion named Spike, and I was told that there might be traitors within certain groups. Now, I don't know if he was in the right state of mind, or if he was possessed, or any of that knowledge. I was wondering, like, have you ever felt like you weren't yourself, as if someone was pulling strings?
Is that what you're really asking, Cora? Or is there something else you really want to know?
I don't even know what I know. I'm just asking questions to try to figure out what do I know.
It seems to be, since we've woken up, a lot of strings have been pulled. A lot of people have attacked others, come to, and not seem to remember or have full control. It's happened to Gore. It's happened to myself. It's happened to Hannibal.
Hmm. I've heard that, and again, this is not anything towards you, but just as the leader, as the war chief of the group, I feel like it's my job to let you know what I know. And it sounds like those who are those who has the Black Star uh are known as traitors amongst others.
And how do you know this? Was this your
Right?
god that told you this?
No, I hear these voices in my head, and they tell me things, and that's how I found out that Spike has died.
These are the same voices that you mentioned were arguing before, correct?
Yes, there's about 4 or 5 in my head, and it seems like we all don't really like each other. Um, but I recently found out that Navra, who does have the same star as you, killed Spike. Now, I don't know why or how, but I don't know if it's because of the star, or maybe Navra don't like Spike. I know nothing about either one of those two. I just know that he had the star, the black mark, and you also have the black mark. So I thought it was relevant information you should know.
Definitely interested. We've only briefly seen Navarro. I'm not sure who Spike is, but people die every day in war. I have nothing but condolences for the dead, but they were too weak.
Thank you for the raid, heroes and hooligans. Thank you guys for the raid.
If
I
there's
agree.
something that you wish in order to feel safer, what would you have us do if there is a traitor amongst us?
Well, to be honest, Agni, I've never felt unsafe. As she clutches, the kabubu, like she don't have no fear over anybody like that. Um, but there's just been rumors that in each group that there's a traitor, and I just want you to put it on your radar as our leader. Um, and another person has died. Now I don't know if Navro is the traitor. I don't know. I don't know if it's Mark. I don't know any of those things. Like, so one of the reasons I'm telling you is because you guys bear the same mark. So maybe someone's out to get you, or maybe I don't know. But I
It's
feel like
good to know. I appreciate you telling me this. I'm never going to take away any of your freedoms. You're welcome to tell whoever you like. Just keep in mind, it seems like words have power. Information comes at a cost. Be careful who you tell or who's around whenever you tell these things. And I trust you will keep an eye out and make sure there's no traitor among any of us.
Yeah. That's why I had, wanted to speak to you alone, just so this can stay between us, and whomever you decide to tell this information to is who you tell. As far as me, it stays between us unless you tell me otherwise.
Do as you see fit, Cora. I'm not going to take that away from you. That's the last thing I will take away from people. Their freedoms and their ability to do things for themselves. However, this is interesting. This could be this weird voice that we hear, sowing seeds of chaos. If possible, it might be a bit morbid, but if you could find out maybe more, maybe Navarro really disliked Spike. Maybe that there's something they're not fully telling. The details of someone just dying is vague at best.
Man, that's gonna be tough.
Take your time. It's no rush.
Yeah. Okay. If I hear anything else, I will let you know.
It's good to hear. I believe our prayer was successful. Our gods will be pleased. Do you have any other business up here?
Nope, I am good to go.
Alright. We'll get Philo, head back to the village. Meet up with everyone. Hopefully.
Oh, did I? Oh, shoot. I accidentally did not do this. Let me go do that right now. The map is not updated. Let me go do that. Whoops.
Before we go, obviously, Agni will fly over to Philo to let him know that we're leaving and head back to the village.
Sure thing. Give me a second, y'all. For some reason, the map isn't updated over on the village side. So, I gotcha. Give me 2 more minutes. Where was this? Let me go download that over again. But, I mean, on the way there, is there anything else you two, Cora and Agni, would need to discuss, either with Philo or anything like that?
I have one quick thing I can discuss.
Sure, go for it.
This is definitely in the future, but I'm hoping this area that we just cleansed can be an area a bit more of commerce, a bit more buildings, less for housing. I'm sure you both realized it, especially you, Philo. Us being in your village is intrusive. We are going to continue to take up more and more space until we expand for ourselves.
I would be lying if I said that some of the other villagers didn't necessarily feel that way, because they do. But not all of them. They do welcome the new faces, and you have definitely... Well, you know me, I'm the one who loves to gossip and all that stuff, but I'm not sure if you all are. But I would say...
Tell. What are they saying?
Well, we've... Agni, we've known each other for a decent bit. We've fought together, we've bled together, so you wouldn't mind if I was honest with everything, right?
I'd rather you tell me the harsh truth about anything.
Well, to put it lightly, the villagers are mainly sort of scared of a lot of you all in general. To say the least. I mean, true, it is a bunch of myconid and mushroom folks, but most of them haven't really seen battle or war or anything of that nature. Most of which haven't really even explored, I'd say, a mile out past the village. Seeing individuals wielding weapons in armor as well as torn off arms like Zaman, or it is quite terrifying to some. To me, I could care less. I was an adventurer beforehand, but to others who haven't seen that, it is. I might actually, now that I think about it, have a suggestion. But whether it's efficient or not, that's up for you to decide. Would it be inoptimal, or if you all were to sort of make a sort of clothing that wouldn't sort of promote the idea of that we're going to war in about 2 minutes? Do you understand what I mean, or no?
I think it's good that the villagers are scared of us, to a certain extent. However, I don't plan to lead through fear alone. One thing we plan on doing is training those who are willing to fight. I think the villagers will respond better if some of their own ranks have the same weapons, the same armor we wield to defend their own village. I'm not sure what clothing and not looking ready for war will do. It's not my expertise. However, if you say villagers and the people will respond better to different outfits, I'll see what I can do.
Well,
no guarantees.
It's more of it's more of like not necessarily the specific outfit, but it sort of promotes a how you say a sort of vibe from being around you. For example, if I walk up and I see someone where they are if they're just sort of wearing everyday sort of streetwear or whatever you want to refer to, then I might sort of recognize them as just some random villager and more. But if I see you wearing the likes of armor, plates, and more, I probably wouldn't want to talk to you because I would be too scared of interrupting business or getting in the way of things. Does that make sense?
I currently do not wear armor, Philo. The villagers need someone to talk to, and Cora is too intimidated by her armor, or Azora's sword is too threatening. They should only be talking to me, as I do not wield weapons to hurt. I do not wear armor, per se. I'm in pants and a tie. I hope they'd be able to approach me.
Maybe, probably in time, but, it's definitely worth, looking into.
You know, Philo, you've given me a great idea. If one of the mushroom people looked like me, perhaps they would feel a lot better. Yes, I think this is exactly what we'll do.
Susie sort of looks curious. What do you mean?
There's villagers willing to fight. Zaman told me of one that has magic similar to mine. Perhaps If he is strong enough, he can wield the same powers that I do.
I am intrigued on more about this, but here we can discuss more upon arriving to the village. We're almost here anyways. And with that, as you guys are conversing more and more on your journey there, return over towards the arena pit, where meanwhile, Azora, you're training tirelessly with the likes of Hannibal, trying to perfect your technique and also perfect your skill. With that,
One quick question: how far away is this area from the village?
it's not too far.
Like,
It's
if you're walking, 5-10 minute walk.
yeah, it's like a 5-10 minute walk at most.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you guys will probably head over and meet Azora there in a second. But let's activate this thing. All right. At this point, Azora, you'd look over, and as you're sort of training with the likes of the other individuals, you see as Gashir is still struggling a little bit to sort of ring these guys together, but he is tiring out for the time being, but he's ready at least for the next lesson if there is one. You eventually would notice as the rain begins to slowly stop forming overhead and the sky begins to start clearing up slightly. But as this is sort of happening, choice is yours on what you would like to say or do.
Okay. So yeah, this was after I did the whole like turn the raindrops into ice thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, she'll look at Gishir and say, Gishir, wait, why is this guy dead? Riles.
Oh, yeah. I think it was because I targeted him for a second. He's fine. But you will also notice as he actually has his full class now.
That's dope.
Yeah, he is a. Do you want me to say the class or no?
I mean, yeah, it's
All right.
it's whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, they could see it in the name, so.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, he is a level 1 rogue at this time. I'm waiting. I'll let you do the whole Hero Force thing if you want to customize exactly how they look and all that sort of stuff. But
Yeah. I was like trying to do it in the meantime, but there is nothing for Myconids.
yeah.
So I might have to just go photos. But yeah, so she'll approach Gashel and she'll say, Gashel, that is enough. We appreciate your services. You did great work today.
Oh, well, I appreciate that, Azora. I mean, of course, I did good work. I am Gashir, the Noxious Blade. That is all I'm known for.
Yes, please, you may excuse yourself. We definitely. And she puts her hand on her shoulder, and she nods once again. We wouldn't be able to get as much work done without your guidance. This I appreciate.
Thank you very much. I was instructed to be the sort of head captain of the sort of fighting force here in this mushroom village for a reason. So glad that I can live up to the name. Maybe
she not.
Sooner or later, maybe you'll be able to sort of step up to my skill, and we'll be able to duel in one-on-one combat. But Yashir is too tired for that, so another time. But I bid you farewell.
She'll nod and she said, "You'll enjoy the rest of your day. Get some rest. You well deserve it."
That you'll see as Gashir will begin to walk out of this sort of arena with a little bit of a pep in his step. As he does, he gets like about 5 feet out of the sort of arena, sort of puts his hands on his knees, and then just begins to keep on walking.
that SpongeBob meme?
Yeah, literally. Oh man.
She'll back up and she'll say, "Riles, Moss, Vast, Inaki, to me."
You'll see as they all begin to form up.
And she'll say, "You all did great work today. Being a warrior of sound body and mind isn't only about engaging in one's enemy, but also in gaining information upon one's enemy. There is a notion of a warrior of the shadows. This isn't something that I can partake in, but you four, Riles, Moss, Vast, Inoki, you four must walk where I cannot. If you truly want to protect your village, the best weapon isn't the one by your sides, no. It is the one here, and she points to her head. Knowledge, information, these are the things that grant kingdoms great power, but the lack thereof can cause empires to crumble. As I told Riles before, you all have my blade, as of the rest of the Voden Knights, but I require your eyes and ears. Riles will be your leader anytime that I am not here or gone. Although Gishir helps, he is not part of what we are doing here today. All that you see and hear, report to me. After today, our training will be in the field. But for now, you are all dismissed. But remember, knowledge is powerful. We keep this between those who are present. There's an old saying, snitches get stitches. And she dismisses them, and she says, Riles, come here for a moment.
You'll see as they all begin to sort of nod, and as they do, they file out of the arena and continue off. Riles, however, begins to continue to stay off and join you off to the side with Hannibal, as Hannibal is kind of just letting you sort of lead. As Riles steps up, what do you say to him?
Riles, you are the and she looks up at the sky as the rain's starting to slow and everything. She says, the other three, you must see them as extensions of yourself. You must see them as important as a weapon in your hands or the heart that beats within your chest. Just like me and the Voden Knights, you must understand you are nothing without your squad. And I'm placing you there as their leader. But the first thing I need you to do is to understand I'm going to require more from you than I am from them. Firstly, I want you to start a list of grievances. Have the others listen around the village. Listen to what are the hopes, the fears, the desires of those around here. Have them report back to you and bring that information to me. We want to make sure home is secured before we venture outwards. Is that understood?
Yes, it is. But why me of the four of us?
I've been watching you. The way you hold a blade, the way you move. In time, I believe, your skills will improve greatly. And I want to take that and mold it in something that could be very useful for not only your village, but for whatever is to come. It's not often in life that one sees somebody with much potential. Just take it as a compliment, but remain humble. Arrogance is not your ally in the fields.
Understood.
In time, you will understand. But first, complete this task. Go around, eavesdrop if you must. But get information on your fellow village members. We want to make sure that their desires and fears are alleviated or granted.
Is there anything specific you want me to look for? Like, are you referring to grievances as, I don't know, structures that are being built in this village, or...
Yes, things like that. That is good. Good initiative. Things that they may want. Things that they may not want. We want to make sure all problems home cease before they become grander. We have enough to worry about outside the village. We don't want our enemies to come from within as well.
Understood. That being said, you'll notice as he begins to look over kind of out towards the village, and as you're kind of both looking over, you'd see as the villagers are going about their day, but as night has fallen amongst it, you see as a bunch of them are kind of going about to their respective houses. Some are embedding themselves into the ground and more. But you would also see as Old Man Philo, Agni, as well as Cora would begin to arrive back towards this sort of village of yours. You'll see as... Oh, God.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, she'll notice that, but continue.
You'll see as Riles will begin to look out and say, I will do what is necessary. Should I begin now or tomorrow afterwards?
Well, there's an old saying, the flappers are up at night. Those who are restless in mind are also restless in body. So see what information you can gain from those who are not yet rooted. Those are typically the ones with a lot more on their mind than those who sleep peacefully.
Very well.
And then after that, you may rest yourself and come find me with any news in the morning.
You'll see as they begin to nod, they'll kind of bow, and as they do, they'll continue off into the rest of the village. Alright. As Rawls begins to take off, you'll see as Hannibal begin to look over and say, You'd swear in your previous lifetime you'd have been a sensei of some sort.
It's hard to say, but every now and then and again, I get these flashes, but I can never hold on to them for long. They're sort of like, and she touches the ground and grabs some I'm sure the wet, muddy sand and watches as it drips through her fingertips. No matter how hard I grab it, it seems to only push it out of my hand faster. That is what my memories are like.
That said, have you looked into a way to be able to recover your memories to prevent that problem from occurring in the future?
You know, it seems that every time I find a way to document or retain my memories, and she looks up at the sky, this world always seems to find a way to erase it. At this point, I want to find the individual who's afflicting me with this, so that it isn't passed down anymore.
I see. And you believe this to be someone else's doing, an external force?
Yes, it is. It's an external force. A devil who I shall face one day. But we've done enough training for today. It is probably best we rendezvous with the team. Figure out what our plans are next.
Oh, if that is what you think. You may be more tired and more, but training has simply just begun.
She faces him. Go ahead.
Rest up at least for a couple of hours. Do what business you need to. But it is almost time for the final bits of learning this technique. The judgment from the heavens.
She nods. She says, whenever you are ready, you may interrupt whatever I am doing, and we may continue.
That said, you'll see as Hannibal begins to nod, and as he does, he'll begin to bow and begin to head off pretty much outside of the arena and get ready to sort of take care of a couple of things outside in the village. With that, as you guys begin to do that, we'll head back over towards you guys, or Zora, you meeting up with Cora and Agni. But beforehand, we got to return back towards the hunt. Alrighty. And bam. Alright, meanwhile over here, let's look over, because I know, or you said what you were about to do. Let's do it in the same order as last time. Alright, Zaman, what are you trying to do off to the side? Are you still just trying to swipe out towards the water? What are you trying to do with this owlbear over here?
Yeah, essentially trying to get some mechanical fish. He will probably call out to Trog and see if he has a net or something to catch the fish as he's swiping towards them. Yeah,
he'll head over, as you call him, for a bit. As you ask for a net, he'll just ask, why would you need net? Why not use reliable, or most reliable tool? And he sort of points towards his claws.
Well, we want to we don't want to kill all of them. We want to capture a couple of them and keep them alive for Mal to evaluate.
I see. Let me look. I'll look into his inventory, see if he's got anything. Nah. Well, I have a trap, but it is snare for creature like bunny, not fish creature. I can make net, but I need assistance.
How long do you think it will take you?
You'll sort of start kind of doing mental math. 30 minutes for good net.
All right. How can I help you, Trog?
Just gather materials around area, whether it be fiber or whatever you need, or whatever you wield, rope, anything. I connect together. I make trap.
Understood. And then Zaman's gonna try to use this owlbear to gather materials. Is he able to like what is this? Is this something that he can like use the owlbear to scrap and try to get materials from?
Yeah, so the good news is it's a lot easier to get sort of some of the other materials because you have a giant ass owlbear with big old claws. So walking over here, sort of lumbering about, you see as you begin to control the owlbear and begin to start swiping towards this little bit of trees and bushes and more. And as you scrap that area, make a survival check for me. $14, not bad. As they're sort of doing so, you begin to... Good.
I still think... Let me check. I think I still have my Oracle's Insight. Hold on. Or did I use it already? Let me check.
I think you... I don't know. I think you probably would have done it because this has still been one big old day. If I understand. Yeah, I think you guys haven't used... Or I think you used it already.
Okay, cool.
Alright, so 14, you're able to get a bit of stuff, about 3 material stocks, for the most part. That's pretty much all you need to make the likes of this sort of rope trap and more. You see as Trog is sort of off to the side, kind of finding his own sort of things before you both reconvene. And as he's sort of, or as you two are kind of working together to kind of make this little rope net and more, you hear a bit of commotion happening off to the side, but we'll see what that is in just a moment. Gore, what are you doing over here with this sort of altar?
Okay, so Gore sort of like kneels down and crosses his legs in front of the altar. Mm-hmm. Wish I could see the altar. I'm still getting gray screen.
Ah, damn it. You can see what like if you look over at my cam on Discord, you'll see kind of what everything's going on.
Yeah. I'm checking there. All right, so Gore kind of like almost centers himself right in front of the right on top of the serpent, and sort of sits down, like he's getting ready to pray. And Gore closes his eyes and he says, so Gore closes his eyes and he focuses on Dendar and he focuses on Phoenix. And he says, Gore gave his word to the serpent's call. With this axe, more gods will fall. For Nax, I pray, this gets enough. She gets no love. She will be crushed. And immediately gets up and smashes the altar with all his might.
As you begin to...
Lord. Oh, man.
As soon as you hear this, Zaman, you look over and you see as Gore is just swinging for the fences, destroying and desecrating the altar. You see as he begins to chop off a couple of the arms of Farika. He begins to swing towards the head, crushing the bits of stone as they go flying off to the side. Sends the candles going and more as he is crushing to his heart's content. With that, Gore, you look over and you see as the entire sort of statue is completely dismantled thanks to your strength. And you notice as the eye upon your axe is sort of shining brightly. And it seems to be almost glowing with a bit of divine strength. Whatever you did, it definitely gained the eyes of a couple of gods. One in particular seems to be at least having a positive reaction. Who knows about the other one, though?
Okay. And Gore picks up the soul, the medicine he left on the ground, just to...
Oh, the good news is you do find a couple things. You find, looking over here, three stocks of medicine, as well as 2 soul coins. 2 stocks of soul coins. Alright, there you go. Alright, that said, Addy Dark is sort of swimming down below. They're doing a deep water dive. And Zaman, are you saying or doing anything as you see Gorge is going to town to the statue?
Zaman is minding his business.
Yeah. After that, Gore would be like, "Now back to the hunt," and he would test in trying to hop in the water himself.
All right. As you're kind of doing so, Addy Dark. Well, as you're going into the water, that's gonna be a little bit of a challenge. I will say that. All right. Meanwhile, Addy Dark, as you're sort of you've already cannonballed and you're sort of going further and further towards the likes of down below, as far deep as you possibly can go. You look around and you're having a bit of trouble seeing, but let me make sure. Do you have dark vision?
Yeah, I was about to.
Yep, you do.
I was about to say, bro. I was about to say, I should be able to see everything.
With your dark vision, you're able to see at least a lot farther than you usually would, and you see as there's a couple of sort of swimming or individuals sort of swimming off to the side. With that, you look over and you see as there are these strange sort of fish that seems to not necessarily be made out of, like normal fish scales, but made out of or metal completely. They seem to be having gears sort of turning amongst their entire main torso, if you will, or main body, if you will. You see as there's not just one, but there is almost a school of fish in this regard. Some of them seem to be bigger than the others, but you notice as they're all kind of just sort of swimming off to the side. One of them in particular seems to be glowing with a little bit of a green aura, similar to the owl bear from before. What are you doing, Addy Dark?
Oh, I'm going to attack the one closest near me. Okay, I can see it. Are they in sight range or no?
They're in sight range. It's just you have to try to swim up towards them and try to catch up. As they're kind of minding their own business, they've already been kind of like swimming away from you or the giant sort of cannonball splash. So it's going to be an athletics check to see if you can swim fast enough and hard enough to be able to catch up with these guys.
Can I get advantage being in frog form or no?
Yeah, I'll give you advantage in that. Not bad. With the 20, you begin to soar fast and swim even faster. As you begin to almost cut off one of the bits of the fish, you try to reach over and just grab it immediately. As you do, make an one more athletics check versus acrobatics check as you get close enough to even be able to grab the individual in the first place. You see as he's trying to sort of circle around from you. A 7? It's not good, but we'll see if you'll be able to catch it. 9. He's just barely able to kind of slip out from your grasp. If you ever watch Cobra Kai, it's just like you just barely lay your fingers onto it and he just keeps on soaring past. As it's sort of happening, you're sort of just chasing the fish over and over like a madman. You end up sort of coming up from to gather a little bit of air and then going back down underwater again, chasing after it. Make another athletics check for me, as he's going to keep on trying to get away.
Air. I'm breathing underwater right now.
Oh yeah, that's right. Never mind. I ignore that then. 14. All right, he's gonna make an acrobatics check to try to get out of the way. 7. Eventually, it takes you about, honestly, 20 seconds of pure chase before eventually you grab the legs of this strange fish. He seems to be not able to get out from your sort of strength and grasp. As this is sort of occurring, you'll look over as the other fish are kind of sailing about or sort of swimming about away from you, but you'll notice as one of the bigger individuals, they seem to notice what's going on, and you'll see as their eyes are beginning to turn a little bit of a red hue, almost as if a dial is being turned. You look over, fish in hand off to the side. What are you doing with this one? As you notice the big fish over here, they're getting ready to kind of head towards your general position.
Like about to dart towards me?
Yeah, it's looking like he's not necessarily coming for pretty much a big hug. He's looking as if he's probably going to attack you.
How far? I guess how far are we? What's the distance? I guess.
Same thing as the map that you see. So about 5, 10, 10, 15, about 20 feet maybe.
No, I mean like to the surface of the water.
Surface of the water? You're about 50 feet underwater.
Oh, okay.
This is a pretty deep sort of area.
I'm gonna try to squish the fish in hand, just kill it instantly, and then try to dart over towards the guy next to him.
Easy enough, you don't need to roll for it. As you do, you take the likes of the fish's life with your barbarian strength. As this is sort of happening and you're going where with it, are you going to the surface or are you doing something else?
I'm going towards the big fish.
Towards the big fish, you got it. As you begin to do so, you meet it head on as it begins to reach over and just opens up its jaws and gets ready to bite down onto you, Addy Dark. That said, for the time being, make a initiative check. This is between just to see who is going to attack first. That's all I need.
Oh man, I haven't done initiative in so long. I don't even remember how to fight, bro.
Hope you're ready to fight underwater.
I don't even remember how to fight. And I don't know why my HP's at 79, by the way.
Yeah, say again?
My HP's at 77. I don't recall taking any damage last.
I don't remember you taking damage from before. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think you took any damage from the owlbears or anything like that. Yeah, you're good.
We fighting cray fish? These are crawfish? Oh man.
Oh man. So as this is sort of happening, 16 versus a 20. Oh boy. You would look over as the fish begins to rush over with a breakneck speed and immediately begins to try to bite and slash over towards you. You see as this one, however, it's bigger in nature. It actually has a couple of not only necessarily just fins, but it also has these sort of strange, almost protruding spikes where almost they're like claws even. As they begin to reach out towards you, they're going to make 2 attack rolls towards you. First one's going to be a claw attack. 13 is going to miss. Second one's going to be another claw attack. 19 will hit, 9 points of bludgeoning damage. As it begins to reach out towards you, tries to almost start strangling and grappling you from its form. However, you're right where you want to be, right in front of its face, and it is your turn to strike. What would you like to do for initiative, Addy?
Get ready. You're up next. Oh wow, there's sounds. Wow, what is this? Combat tracker? Why have I never seen it before?
There's always been sounds and combat.
I've never seen the combat tracker until today.
I'm not gonna lie, it's my first time seeing this in months as well.
It's the first time I've ever seen a combat tracker, bro.
Typically, it's in the top right. If you click the sword icon, that just shows the initiative and all that.
Well, first things first, I'm gonna rage.
All right. As we enter a blood-filled rage, you enter the form, even a further sort of stance of the were-frog. As you begin to do so, all right. I don't know why it got rid of your health and all that. All right.
I don't know what.
You can ignore it. So what would you like to do, Addy Dark? As it is your turn, you have an action and movements. Actually, no, you cannot move because you are grappled at this moment in time, but you do have your action.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna try and wail on this dude then. Try to get out of his grasp.
All right. As you do, you swing for the fences and try to bludgeon him, striking at him. Make some attack rolls for me. 24 to hit, 10 points of bludgeoning damage. Not bad, not bad. I'm gonna add the rage damage as well. 21 to hit and another 10 points of bludgeoning damage. So two massive sort of punches directly towards the fish. You see his entire or sort of exterior, though it's metal and plate in nature, it is completely dented from these massive powerful strikes from you. Addy Dark, that is your action. Is that your turn?
Yeah, I guess one question just for flavoring. Would they see like the water kind of shifting above if they were paying it? If like, would it, am I striking so fast that the water above is like moving?
Well,
kind of,
it would be. One of them would see it like Gore, but the thing is, he's busy crushing right now. So, because this is all happening at the same time.
Oh, you right.
Zaman? Yeah, Zaman, you'd probably see what's going on. There's something happening in the water over there.
And then, oh, sorry, and one more thing. Now that I'm in Were-Toad mode, I can't be grappled, so it might just be cool now? Does I ungrapple? Does the grapple stay?
Yeah, you're ungrappled then. He is. Yeah, he can't do anything about it.
Okay, I'll just leave it at. Yeah, that was attack and the bonus action. I think that's all you can do.
All right, as this begins to happen, you see as he begins to, or you slip out of the likes of his grasp, he circles around you almost like a predator shark for a brief moment. As he does, he immediately begins to back up and just swims out towards you with two more strikes. He slashes over with the first one and slashes over again with the second one. All right, let's see what he can do. All right, claw attack. 19 to hit, and then he does have advantage because you did reckless, so hold on just in case of a crit. All right, no. All right, and he's gonna do his second attack. 18 will also hit for a total 8 points of damage. Now let me make sure that you're taking the correct amount. You're not. So you gain 4 because you're raging, and then the second one dealt a total of 10, so that's gonna go up by 5. So as you feel this sort of slashing sensation amongst you, you see as he is definitely not going down without a fight, but you're able to take a bit of the brunt, and that is his go. Addy Dark, what would you like to do as you receive initiative?
I do not like him moving around so much. It's kind of odd. So I'd like to try to grapple him, and I'm gonna try and grapple him.
All right, athletics check against his acrobatics or athletics. He's gonna make a athletics check. You have advantage because you are raging. Yeah, 22 versus 10. You're able to immediately wrap your arms around him and restrain him from being able to move anywhere. He is grappled. You do have your second attack, and you do have your bonus action attack.
I've talked to you about this. I can move when he's grappled, or can I not move when he's grappled?
You can move while he's grappled. Your just movement speed is halved. Now, your movement speed is already halved because you're swimming, so you can basically take him like 5-10 feet, pretty much.
Oh, man. And the Were-Toad don't help with none of that movement stuff, huh?
Let me see what you got. Features. Do you gain a swimming speed with the Were-Toad?
I don't think so.
Let me see. If you do, then yeah, it would help out tremendously. Shifting feature, rage. Where is it? Path Elemental Fury. Blah blah blah. Nah, sadly not. So maybe in the future, but just not right now. Oh, water. Your arm strikes. Nah, not yet. Not yet.
Okay. All right. Well, then he's just gonna get. I'm gonna start nooking him and punch him.
All right, 2 more attack rolls then.
I was gonna try and carry him out, but he clearly just wants to get beat up right here. So
23 and 8. That'll do it. 5 points of damage plus another 3. Yeah, and that said, are you trying to knock him out in unconscious, or are you straight up trying to kill him?
oh yeah, I'm killing him. I'd like to just tear him. Just tear the jawbone off.
All right. As you
Just
do. As you do one single strike, and then immediately reaching out towards his jaw, you rip it free. As you begin to toss it off to the side, you see the flickering of his eyes begin to slowly dissipate, and he begins to stop fighting, begins to stop acting, and he is dead. I don't know why there's blood on the screen, because that guy is not dropping blood.
It's an oil spill, folks.
With that, you begin to soar up, swimming back up to the surface area for a moment, as everything seems to be okay for now. With that, do you head back towards the, or back towards the land?
Are these fish gone? The smaller ones?
They with that whole tussle, they've sort of they completely swam away.
Okay, I'll swim over with the little fish and the big fish, I guess, over to here and plop them out on the ground.
All right. That being said, that, boom, boom. All right. At this point, you begin to sort of plop them down onto the ground, and as you begin to do so, you look over, and it seems to be that Gore has completely desecrated and destroyed this entire altar. Gore, you turn around, the first thing you see is Addy Dark sort of dropping down these bits of fish off to the side. He seems a little bit bloody, as if a bit of a tussle happened or occurred, but he's for the most part fine. What do you two say to one another as you look and I guess gather on the same platform?
I think Gore would just look at him and be like, "So your hunt went well too."
Zaman actually came in handy for once. Breathing underwater, that was a cool trick. If only he did, other cool stuff, but instead he just decided to tame that owl bear. Still feel
the greeting is odd, but useful.
And I see you've gotten into another skirmish with a statue. This one come alive like a gargoyle as well?
No. Gore's a man of his word. These altars must fall.
With that,
You just slay altars? What? You slay altars, alright.
Is that how you
got a Night Slayer and an Altar Slayer, bro? No
With
night
that.
weddings. No night weddings, bro.
With that, you look over. Gore, you're trying to say something?
We can leave it. No, we can leave it at the awkward mystery. I was gonna explain, but it's better that way. It's better to just.
All right. With that, Zaman and Trog, you eventually are able to sort of cast out the net and then wait to see if you're able to capture any individuals. Trog would probably sort of motion that you probably want to get more towards the center land and away from the sort of main coast, if you will, just to be able to have a little bit higher of a chance of catching anything.
With
That you're able to sort of, it's a little bit of a struggle of maneuvering the owlbear, but you're able to kind of have it swim over off to the side and get towards this sort of, or center location. As this is sort of occur, you move your tokens over there, and with that, you two are kind of just throwing the net out and waiting for what else is to occur. Now, I had one sort of thing. While that's sort of occurring, you guys are kind of out here for a decent amount of time, about 30 or so minutes, just waiting for to see if anything sort of gets caught up in the likes of the net and more. As you're doing so, Zaman, is there any sort of conversation that you need to have with Gore or Addy Dark in the time being? This is over for a while.
No. As they're waiting for the net, Zaman is going to continue to try to get more and more control over this owlbear, and then he's going to see if he can potentially control it without like actually physically be in contact with it.
Very well.
Addark would like to hand the smaller fish to Zaman.
Easy enough.
Is it alive?
Nah, that thing is crushed.
Barely maimed. I tried to keep it intact best I could.
Zaman will say we could probably use it for some form of materials.
And then in the other bigger one, do we have to survival check that one?
Survival check. Are you trying to scrap it for pieces, or are you just keeping them together?
Yeah, I'm scrapping that. Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
scrapping that.
You're scrapping it together, or scrapping it to pieces. You will see as you begin to do so. Make a survival check to see how much materials you get. 16, decent bit. Not too much, but enough. You get about 3 materials from the single fish, as well as from the smaller fish. You'd gain another material resource for a total of 4. You look around and it seems to have these strange sort of ocular devices that are shining kind of towards its eyes. Looking towards its claws, you could probably turn those into daggers if you really wished, as well. Or maybe even if you really want to get crazy, kind of turn into like a little bit of a, not guitars, kind of like a little bit of Wolverine
kunai.
Gauntlets. Nah, not kunai. More so if you want to add like spikes to a gauntlet, you could easily do that using its sort of claws and more. Now,
Oh, well, I'll toss the claws in the satchel and call it a day.
easy enough. While that's sort of happening, we look over, as I assume you 3 will just have pretty much joined together or whatever, right in the center.
Yeah.
All
Yes,
right.
I wouldn't wait 30 minutes. I wouldn't wait 30 minutes. I'd jump back in the water.
Yeah, I know. I think if there was that much downtime, Gore would have
Yeah.
seen it to hunt around.
I would go back in.
Easy.
But I can't see enough to say where we're going.
I can barely hear you, Tito.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, a little bit better.
If Gore was around and he was sitting around for 30 minutes, he would have probably definitely been searching for everything or try to find something else to hunt.
All right, easy enough, easy enough. As this is sort of happening, we'll come back to you guys in just a moment. All right, meanwhile, back in the village, off to the side, we look over towards Agni, Cora, and Philo. Alrighty, where is this map? There we go. And boom. So, Agni, as you are returning with the likes of Cora and Philo would have mentioned one sort of thing as you guys are kind of coming back. I also meant to mention I went earthbound while you two were talking, and I was trying to connect back with the village here. But I learned of something quite interesting. I doubt it, but you haven't came across a marked individual by the name of Ingot, did you?
Rings no bells for me. What about you, Cora?
Cora's muted. There you go.
Ingot. I don't recall.
It's just fine. He was a really good friend of mine, but when I was a lot younger and not as old after the ops decided to age me forward tremendously.
Hey, Sensei, quick question.
Yep.
Did Philo see any of the visions from Zaman's hand that had the mushroom character in it?
He did, but he wasn't paying attention too much to the mushroom. That's like
Copy.
Philo, he knows when to pay attention to stuff. That seemed completely out of his realm. He didn't understand what was going on. He was just minding his own business.
Copy.
Yeah.
I don't know Azura and Korra would remember seeing a creature and assume they were marked or not, but that's up to y'all.
I mean, they didn't know his name, so. Yeah.
True.
But, I was just curious if you had ran across him in any of your adventures or anything like that. But he's, apparently he doesn't have any of his memories, and he is also, with a group of some sorts. Apparently, one of these other groups, they will be also, well, I don't actually know if the entire group, but this Ingot's warrior, he will be joining us at the tournament of Bayani. Whether he would be looking to join the Voden Knights or something else, I have no idea, but if he is as strong as he was before, he is a very, very capable fighter.
If he's as strong as you make him out to be, I trust you will take the lead in recruiting him. The Voden Knights can always use another warrior.
Very well. Now, I am tired for the day. If you do need me, just, you know where to find me. I will be probably embedding myself towards the market. But you all take care and sleep well.
Have a good one, Philo.
With that, you'll see as Philo begins to start walking further and further into the village. With that, you all are free to do as you wish. Alright. So, Korra and Agdi, is there anything that you need to take care of in the village, or are you just heading straight to bed?
I was just gonna make potions before I go to bed.
Alright. That can be just a thing before you rest. Simple as that.
I am curious, dude. Is the Mana Reserve should be built by now, correct?
Yeah, about that. So, we can talk about this. So the Mana Reserve is not on the map yet, but you guys have the benefits of it already. So let me get into all of this. Alright, so here's what the Mana Generator does. The Mana Generator basically increases the potential mana that you all can hold by 15 stocks. And it also changes how mana works. Oh yeah, this thing is very, very important. So, here's how this is. I've shown it on, actually here, I'm gonna actually just go to the splash screen and they'll be able to explain it even better than I can.
If we can have no more wild magic, that'd be nice.
Oh no, you have wild magic and you have the worst of it.
Great. Love it.
Oh boy. Where is this thing?
So whenever I think of wild magic, I'm like, oh wait, Korra is immortal because of it. Let's not forget.
Yep, that is true. Where are the rules? Here it is. There we go. Alright, mana mechanics. Ooh. So, you can read all about this over here, but in the meantime, basically, you do not have just rogue crystals anymore. You don't just carry around mana crystals just in your back pocket. There's no need to. Instead, essentially what you will be doing is you will be siphoning mana from the little mana generator. And you can do this pretty much anywhere. But here's how this sort of thing works. Mana is useful when it comes to like using anything that is, well, any structures that would require mana, aka like there are docks and all that sort of stuff, but there are also things such as planar docks. Planar docks as well as airship docks are, well, you know, they're used to be able to fly airships and all that stuff around, but a planar docks would be used to travel to different planes of existence, such as Hell, the Feywild, the Shadowfell, and all that sort of stuff. Now granted, you guys are nowhere near being able to do that, but it's just stuff for the future. On top of that, anything or that you guys would need mana-wise, so like Mao was talking about the walls from earlier and having them be able to automatically defend themselves, you would need the mana generator to be able to do so. Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Now for the spellcasters and all that stuff, the text is there, but basically just recap and answer any questions about it. Anytime that you guys want to sort of siphon magic from the weave or gain another spell slot, you can do so, but you have to pay it back the next day. If you don't, well, when you do so, you gain a level of exhaustion and all that sort of stuff, but you also are able to sort of keep a sort of constant supply of magic, and you have a less chance of like actually causing wild magic to occur. There is still a chance for a catastrophic failure, but it's nowhere near as guaranteed with the wild magic crystals, where previously you use it, it always happens. Now it's more of like a 50-50 sort of shot. Sometimes lower, sometimes higher, depending on how much magic you guys are trying to siphon.
Wait, so now it's a 50-50 chance for wild magic, but we have to pay it back and get exhaustion.
Because now you are siphoning from the likes of the Weave of Chaos itself.
Stronger magic we get now?
Oh yeah, because now you don't have to be limited in the likes of what type of crystals you can get. You don't have to worry about, oh, this is a 3rd level mana crystal, or oh, this is a 2nd level. You can take as much as you wish, my friend.
Huh, okay.
So if you ever need like a 3rd level spell slot, you can do so. You just got to make sure you pay it back. There will be other things, even though you may think that, hey, oh shoot, that means we can never run out of magic. You think that, just wait. Just wait around, and you will see a couple of things. Your characters wouldn't know this, but you will figure out the benefits and also why you may not want to do that often. Now, granted, if you guys ever run out of mana in general, or you've taken too much magic out of the sort of mana generator, then everything essentially magic-wise will cease to function. So, let's say a big battle begins to happen. You run out of all your mana or whatever and all that sort of stuff. What would end up happening is your walls would stop working. Let's say the planar docks would begin to stop working, and they would start, or all of the airships would begin to crash into the world. It is a terrible, terrible time. Don't let that happen, or bad things will basically occur.
How much mana is in this thing right now, then?
Let's look at your resources at the moment.
It's just what our mana is? It doesn't, like, passively make mana?
No, it does not. You can store, anytime you find, like, crystals, you can throw it or chuck it in there, and all that stuff to give it more of a resource to work with. But right now you have 8 out of 30 plus 15, 8 out of 45.
So let's say hypothetically, I mean, I'm not no magic user, so no dog in the fight, but let's say if like a magic user was like, okay, damn, I need this level 2 spell slot or whatever. And they're like, oh, let me siphon off of the thing. And so they get their level 2 slot back. So now they have 1 level of exhaustion, but they get that level 2 slot. But let's say after the fight or whatever, we find 2 mana crystals or whatever. Could they then put the 2 mana crystals in machine so they don't have to give up a level 2 slot the next day, or nah?
Yes, that would be exactly how it works.
Okay.
All you got to do is just, if you take magic from the weave, you just got to make sure to pay it back. That's all you got to do.
Question: are we able to put mana into the weave? So, like, if, for example, it's the end of the day, we didn't spend our spell slots, can we give up our remaining magic to the weave to gain mana?
Sadly, not, because none of you know exactly how to do that.
But it's something we could potentially learn.
Something you could potentially learn. You'd probably want to talk to a wild magic sorcerer to do that. Only wild magic sorcerer that you know, well, in Soulbound is Thorin. But you could also find an NPC that might be capable of that.
Copy.
All right. Any other questions about this sort of whole magic sort of base thing and all that?
So we need this thing for enchanting?
Yes.
So without this, we can't even like transfer the runes and stuff.
Nope. You need basically the mana generator to actually infuse any bits of rocks or runes or stones and all that with actual mana and actual enchantments. Now, in order to figure out, well, hey, what kind of enchantments do we have? Well, you have this sort of sword from before, with the likes of the Vicious property. So you, Agni, if you want to, you can start basically taking all of the Voden Knights weapons eventually and start giving them the Vicious property, assuming that they're not magical already. Gore's weapon, you can't do it. Addy Dark's weapons, you could eventually. But go ahead.
One rune I can just copy. It's like a TM from Pokemon. I now have the TM Vicious.
Basically.
Okay, that's interesting. That is interesting.
Mm-hmm. But there is one thing. As you're sort of enchanting everybody's weapons, keep that in mind. That's going to drain your mana resources, and it's going to, it's going to be a constant sort of thing. So if you ever played like Civilization, you know how there's like multiple things that are sort of deducting, like, let's say gold or whatever, right? This is the same way with mana.
How much is it to that to like transfer something, or like if I wanted to put this on like Adgar's gauntlets, how much would that cost?
It would cost.
Check.
Oh wait, if you're trying to say like if I actually want to enchant it, like what check do I got to do that?
Well, not what check, but it's like I guess I'm asking for our resources. So we have a limited right now. If I was to take this rune off of this sword, does that cost mana?
To take the rune off the sword, no. To start enchanting stuff with it, yes.
Is there a flat fee for enchanting stuff, or is this like change and fluctuate?
It changes and fluctuates depending on the rarity of the enchantment. So like a Vicious property isn't too crazy, but it would depend. So like let's say a legendary enchantment or whatever, yeah, that's gonna cost you like about 200 mana. Granted, this is late game, but yeah. But like a simple common sort of enchantment could cost, well, I mean, depending on what it is, it could cost somewhere between 5 mana to something like 10 mana at a time.
Okay.
For the Vicious property, let me go see what is the rarity of a Vicious weapon. Let's see. Vicious weapon 5e. That is a rare. So for that one, it's a big one, but it would cost 15 mana for right now. Now, granted, you're gonna start getting mana and all that stuff in the future when it comes to mana crystals and all that stuff. But that's the reason why you want to save up for that sort of stuff.
Wait, quick question. So, are we no longer able to crack the crystals?
You can, but well, actually, hold on. Wreck on that. So basically, it's assumed that you put all the crystals pretty much into the mana generator to have the 8 mana in general. You're always gonna have or you don't need to necessarily crack the crystals anymore. You're just siphoning them from the generator already.
Okay. So how I did it before is no longer a thing.
Yeah, pretty much. You don't need to worry about any of that stuff anymore. That was the more of the dangerous way, aka the reason why people were forming rifts into hell type of way. Alright, but any more questions about all that stuff?
Nope.
Alrighty. Well, let's go back into the map. Alright, let me see if I can find it. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Alright, so as you guys are going about doing your whole thing, floor is yours, Agni, Cora, or Azora, on what you would want to say or do, if anything.
Like I said, I was just gonna do some potions, and that's all I really had.
Alright, so are you just, I was saying, is there anything else you guys wanted to, or you need to do beforehand, like before you go to, like, power down and all that stuff, or nah?
I probably want to do some studying of the runes, but in passing Azora ever, I would quickly bring it up to her. Azora, while Cora and I were a little further north, up by the area with the Sewer King, we were able to cleanse the lake. It might take a day or two for everything to be
settled and habitable. But one thing crossed my mind. Potentially, this could be seen as a favor for the Sewer King. He seems to be about cleaning things up. If you ever talk to him again, see if he accepts this as a favor, and maybe potentially he can extend more information to us on the Zhao dynasty. Especially if they're going to be at the tournament.
In this situation, I'm already way ahead of you. Last time I spoke to him, I offered him items in exchange for no gold, but instead information on the Zhao dynasty. When I see him again, perhaps that, combined with his gesture to clean up the water, will allow him to be forthcoming with information.
When we talked to him, he mentioned we have to build a favor with them. I hope these couple of things have granted us a little bit more pull with him.
Yes, I agree. Information is most certainly key. I shall try to speak from him in the coming days, and hopefully we could get some information.
Sounds good. I take it the training today was successful.
Yes, it went well. I'm hoping in time that these Myconids, those of the martial prowess and those of the magical, will become a great boon to what we are trying to do.
Philo mentioned the people here are a little off-put by the heavy weapons, the armor. I believe having those that look like them in weapons and armor will help ease a little bit of tension they have.
Well, it is understandable seeing strange people come in. On more than one occasion, they watched us demonstrate our might. I can understand a bit of fear. Perhaps, and she looks around, perhaps we do something for this place to ease tensions. A festival of sorts. Perhaps we could get, what's that man's name?
Talking about Phil? The voice of the people?
Yeah. Him and the leader. I can't remember. Oh my god.
Orbeer.
Yeah, I'm looking for that man.
He is right here.
Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah. Perhaps we can talk to Phil and Orbeer about putting on something so that they could get to know us in a less martial setting. I think that could help ease things over.
I'll leave that to you. Not my forte. Festivals. But if they want to get to know me, I'll be sure to tell them anything they want to know.
And she nods.
1 second. Everybody stop where you are. Alright. One of you receives a message in your head. I will DM that individual right now, and if you don't get anything within the next minute, then you can keep on keeping on. If not, then there you go. Alright. And bam, there we go. All right. So that being said, if you didn't get a message, that is that, but that person receives that message. But you guys can continue talking amongst yourselves for now.
She'll say, Cora, perhaps this is something you could give me a hand in. Iroas, the god of victory. It's all about honor and victory in war. Perhaps in this occasion, we could utilize a festival in honor of the victories that we have had with and for these folks here.
Might be muted. Nah, there we go.
Oh, my bad. I'm just trying to. My bad. Fuck. What you want me to do? What were you saying?
Essentially, she's saying through your worship of Iroas, the god of victory, perhaps the festival could be centered around that. Through our victories with helping them defend this village, twice, and once working with them. So like it's like a victory for all of us under the god of Iroas.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll say yeah. So I'll I'll schedule a meeting with Ordbeer and Phil, and perhaps that is something we could look forward to putting together in the coming days.
Fine by me. Just, I'll stay out of it for the time being. I'll let you plan it. I'm sure Aurora and her god will leave them feeling inspired. Maybe even some of the troops will train a bit harder.
She nods and she said, "Well, hopefully everyone was victorious today. Have you seen Adi Zaman go on Trog on your way here?"
I believe they went a different direction for whatever they were doing. And hopefully bringing back food and supplies.
Understood. Well then. And she bows and puts her fist to her chest. I'm going to go meditate in the pit. If there's nothing else.
Before you Azora goes and Agni. Fuck. Alright. Hey. Okay, so Cora would tell Azora no, Cora would tell Agni first. Is it just the three of us?
It is pretty much just the three of you, but you kind of are just out in the sort of openness in the middle of the village. Most of the villagers are kind of sleeping, but you still are out.
Cora will go to both of them. Said, I need to speak to both of you guys, and it's urgent, but it has to be when it's just the three of us, not out in the open.
We can go into the war room. It should be empty as the others have not arrived.
Okay.
Alright. So, as you guys begin to head over towards the war room, you enter into the establishment. It is still clear and everything. But that said, what would you all like to talk about or discuss?
And then Cora would say, first to Agni, remember when I told you about these voices that I hear in my head?
Yes, you just mentioned it up by the lake, and we've talked about it before. What about them?
Well, it's been dormant for a little bit until Azora came into our presence, and
Dormant?
Voice, yeah, it was quiet. It was on hush for a little bit until Azora came close, and then like my mark starts to alert me, and then I can hear this thought that says, to protect Azora, and it was saying to protect Azora from you, Agni.
Cora.
Sounds like
Oh, good.
it sounds like your mark is a little late on that. Me and Azura had our moment. It seems to be, as long as we're not alone together, everything should be just fine.
Yes,
Alright.
we've had our situation already. Demark wants me dead, and I was told this a long time ago.
If we're
Okay.
being quite honest, Azura's probably the hardest person for me to kill. And because of her natural martial skills, as well as the blade she wields. Personally, I don't think this will be a problem.
Lies. Addy Dark is the hardest.
Yeah, that's definitely cap, but we gonna get past that. Okay, and Cora will say, okay. It seems perhaps you two may have had an outing at some point. I just want to let you guys know that I don't think it's over. But I've yet to understand this mark or these thoughts.
Yes, it is not over, but so long as we are in situations where it's not me and him alone, we should be just fine.
Alright, bye.
Even when
She said, "Oh, more lore, I'm out."
Oh man.
so long as we're not sit on a dual mission elsewhere, it should be fine, Cora. And then she puts her hand on your shoulder and she says, "Appreciate the concern. We'll make sure that this does not become a problem."
It's best for us to be honest amongst each other, at least. Bringing this up was definitely needed.
Cora would say, does the others know? Referring to Gore, Addy, and the rest of the niggas.
They know somewhat, as I believe I saw Zaman, as well as Gore and Addy Dark chased after me with no luck on their part. People know slightly here and there, but it seems as you might have more information than any of us.
Well, like I told you before, Chief, I will keep this to myself unless you tell me otherwise.
And as I said to you before, you are welcome to tell whoever you wish.
She would look to Azora and say, is there any questions or anything regarding, like, I mean, obviously, to her, it seems like y'all know all this shit already, so she ain't telling you anything y'all don't know.
I mean, Azura understands you got the information from your mark, and like she said, they've been in that position before, so she already knows. No, that is good information that I'm glad you know. Hopefully, like I said, we won't be paired off together in somewhere that's not within our control. But perhaps, and she looks at Agni, perhaps in time, we should think of contingency plans in case that were to ever happen. It's not the first time we've been teleported out of our control. Just like in the mechanical tower.
That is true. While we're at it, we might need a plan for just about everyone here at the rate we're going.
Cora would say, not that it's any of my business, and feel free to tell me to mind my business. But is there a reason why you two tend to fight when you're alone?
My guess is it's the mark on his hand. So Hannibal had a party just like ours, each marked. And the individual with the black star murdered the individual with my mark in even his group. And I was told by another entity that apparently the marks that we have on our hands, well, the feelings that overcome us from time to time are that of a dragon sage. The very ones we will meet soon at the tournament.
Do you know of someone named Spike?
Yes, she holds the same mark as I do. We write letters back and forth to each other. It's been
Well,
some time since I've heard from her.
um, I've heard that she is, what's the phrase? Pushing daisies. She has been killed by uh someone named Navro, who also holds the same mark as Agni. Now, it could be between they have beef. It could be maybe Spike was wearing the wrong colors.
It
Um,
was probably the mark. Perhaps they weren't too forthcoming with the information amongst their group. And perhaps they were together alone. Again, this is why we need a contingency plan. My condolences to her. I should meet with the Sewer King soon. He also had a fondness for her.
is there anyone that you know who knows of Spike also besides the Sewer King? Anyone else in her group, or if you want to gather information of how? I mean, obviously you can't talk to Spike, but I don't know if you care to know why or how she died or where.
Nope, she don't remember shit. No. That's information eludes me, but I'll write I'll write to the Sword King to deliver a letter over there to that group. Yeah, to share my condolences.
Understood. Like I told Agni before, I will keep this stuff to myself, and if y'all want to talk about it amongst the others, I know you guys want to come up with plans. Um, but until I hear otherwise, I'll just keep all this to myself.
Well, perhaps when we call our next meeting, that is something we can discuss. A contingency plan, now that we know, well, for now, that the threat is real, as that makes 2 individuals with the square mark killed by those with the black star.
Wait, who's the other one?
Hannibal's team.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. I thought from like another group. I was like, damn, this is dying every day. What happened to me though?
But again, this was good information. When the whole team gets here, well, perhaps tomorrow when we awake, we could discuss these amongst other things.
Cora would nod, and it's like there's a hesitation. Should she leave first? Or
You, you ladies can both leave. I have some work I'd like to do in here still.
Yes, I'll make my way to the arena. You all enjoy the rest of your nights. Cora, we'll discuss more about the festival. Hopefully, it'd be one that would make Auroraverse proud.
All She would nod to Zura and just nod to Agni and just say Chief as she bows. And she's gonna whip out her journal and get to writing.
All right. As you do, you both continue off. Azora heading towards the arena. Cora getting ready to make some potions and more. While that's sort of happening, just so I don't forget, Cora, let's let's get some of the potions out of the way real quick. How many? You're making a potion before you go to bed, and then also probably when you wake up. So let's get 2 medicine checks for me. And let me first off see. Actually, before you do that, let me see exactly how many medicine resources you have to determine what type of potion you may want to make. Okay, so Valley of Dreams has 12 out of 30 medicine right now.
Question, Sensei.
Mm-hmm.
Since they're back at the village, are they able to harvest from the garden? Because I know we have some medicinal herbs in the garden as well.
Yeah, if you want to actually do that. So that was we'll roll for that all in just 1 second.
I was also going to ask, does the medicine like Gore found apply to our total right now, or does he have to come back to the village with it?
Sure. Yeah, I'll allow that. So yeah, you guys are gonna have 15 medicine for the time being. Only because I assume. Well, actually, I mean, fucking, who knows? Gore may die any moment at this point.
That's true.
Every time this is
Gore.
This is Gore, but.
Yo, Zaman will make sure he runs his pockets before he leaves them.
What if Zaman's the one? What if Zaman's the one that kills him, and then Adidar kills Zaman, and then what?
Tap his pockets.
First off, Zaman would never kill Gore over Adidar, so that's already capped.
No, I'm talking Adidar kills Zaman over Gore.
No, I'm saying Zaman wouldn't kill Gore. He would try to kill Adidar first.
Yeah, you tried to kill me, but then you hit Gore in the process.
Bro, you're not that hard to kill. You're just a barbarian, bro. Nobody's worried about you.
Bruh, you can't even hold me, bro.
I've held you before. Don't forget. Don't forget. Held you before, bro.
Bro.
You've already been stunned once. Don't get stunned again, bro.
Is it fresh water or salt water we in right now?
You get stunned all of a sudden, bro, and just be stunned underwater, bro. Have fun with it.
So about this medicine.
Sorry about this medicine.
I digress.
All right, so for the medicine, here's what I got for you. So, hold on, let me get this real quick. So for Cora, you already have the herbalism kit, so you're good. And that being said, all right. So a common potion of healing would just be a DC 10. You can make a couple of greater potion of healings, which would be a DC 15 instead. That would, however, starting off, it would be a DC 25 if you wanted to try to learn it now. Granted, because you haven't learned how to make greater potions of healing. In order to make a greater potion of healing, it does take 4 medicine each. So those are the only 2 that you actually have capabilities of making. Which one would you want to do? Do you want to just play it safe and only learn the normal potions, or do you want to learn the greater potions today?
I'm gonna let me make sure I have this. Ah, shit. I don't have that spell. I guess I'll just do the Reggie.
All right. So for this, just basically make
fuck it. Nah, I'll do the 20. I'll shoot my shot.
All right. If that's the case, let's make some, or basically just make a wisdom saving throw because it's the equivalent of your modifier. And you gotta beat it. Oof. See, let's see.
Can I bless myself?
Not bless, but do you have guidance?
Nope.
No. You might wanna, if you really want to see it through, you could always ask like maybe an NPC that might have guidance. I think Mao or Philo might have it. Or you could just ask him in general, like, hey, help me out, make some potions or whatever. Philo would probably be your best bet.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that.
All right. As you sort of do, you walk over towards Philo, who's kind of just sleeping in the ground, pretty much embedded into the ground. You see as he's kind of old man snoring off to the side. What do you do to wake him up?
She would just tap him aggressively because she doesn't know, like, she wouldn't know any other way.
All right.
And she was like,
Good.
Philo, I need assistance on making potions.
Oh, there's something wrong?
Yes, I need assistance on making this potion.
Oh, you scared me for a moment. I thought we were under attack. Yes, I can help you with that. You'll see as he begins to... Now, below at his legs, you'd notice as all mushrooms are kind of like this. Just kind of like a stalk. They're one singular sort of thing. But eventually, as he begins to start coming out of the ground, you'll see as they slowly form into two separate legs. As he begins to stand up and begins to look over towards you. I'd be willing to help. With that, as he's doing that, you can have advantage on this wisdom saving throw to make these potions. He will also, let's see if I can actually click on the character sheet. There we go. Yes, he's also going to cast guidance on you, so you can add a d4.
Okay.
17, not bad. Need a little bit higher though. One more time.
Am I rolling with advantage?
Yeah, you're rolling with advantage.
Was that advantage, or do I roll it one more time?
Roll it one more time.
Okay. Big money, big money. Boom.
Hey, 25. That's all you need. Don't even need the guidance. With that,
Love to see it.
I got myself.
Scared money don't make no money.
So with the 25, you begin to work together with the likes of Philo, and you grab, or you're able to craft a better potion than you've ever really made before. This one is a lot larger and definitely a lot more potent. So, Cora, congratulations, you have unlocked the ability to make greater potions of healing, which do this. A normal potion of healing would be 2d4 plus 2. Greater potion does, I believe, 4d4 plus 4? Or is it plus 8?
We need that. Plus 4, I think.
I'm pretty sure it's plus 4. Yeah, 4d4 plus 4. So you make the first one, and then if you want, when you wake up, you can make a second one.
Alright.
Because you wake up a lot earlier than everybody else. So just make another wisdom saving throw, and we can just do it beforehand.
Heard. All right now.
Now, the DC for this is only 15, because now you've already mastered how to make said potion.
Do I? So I wouldn't have this blessed then.
Nah. I mean, unless you want to Philo wakes up early, so if you want to ask him again, like, hey, I need help, then you could do that.
Yeah, I'd do that.
All right, same thing, advantage and guidance.
Oh, no, I even need that.
Don't even need it.
I just want him to see how a master do
out
it.
here.
I'm guiding him how to do this.
Alright, so with that, you are able to craft 2 greater healing potions. You'll see as Philo will begin to sort of look over and say, you're unnatural. I remember when you were only struggling with the basics, but now you're making the potions faster than I can. Good work.
Thank you, Philo. Apologies for waking you up and scaring you.
Oh, no, it's fine. I probably... Now that I think about it, you have a lot of potential when it comes to this potion making. If you were, you could maybe even look into making other potions or producing magical effects. Maybe something to look into, for sure.
Oh, yes, I would love to learn that trait.
Those, spirits, the little spherical ones, do you think that they could be, or capable of making, like, a laboratory, or, something, a place to be able to make, alchemy potions? Would that be a possibility?
I would love to, but I think Zamad is in charge of that, and I will run it by Zamad.
Very well. Again, something to look into eventually, but we have a big day, so let's just get ready for that. And while that's
to Philos.
And with that, Cora, you begin to go off and do your own thing, but meanwhile, a couple of hours before that, Agni, so what are you doing, friend?
He's going to enter into his office and he's gonna study some of the runes. Even if we don't have the mana for it just yet, I don't think he actually fully understands how to transfer them just yet.
All right. As you do, you begin to look over towards the rune itself placed upon the blade. You begin to start inscribing it, seeing exactly the nature of it, and beginning to almost place it upon either different pieces of papers or even, well, actually, yeah, you get to choose. So Ingot decides to do it by the way of just write or carving stuff on stones. How does Agni sort of encarve any runes or anything like that?
So probably with his magic, he probably takes sort of like the runes on his shell and sort of like projects them in front of him. And he's probably practicing to carve it with like fire magic, essentially. Sort of if he was like drawing it holographically.
I see, I see. As you're beginning to do so, you see as they begin, or as you sear the runes into your mind, trying to remember them for the future, eventually, you make an Arcana check to see if you are fully able to understand what this thing is capable of. 19. Pretty good stuff. As you do so, it seems to be that these runes for sure have a lot of power and potential in them. Makes you wonder if you're able to take spells that you already wield and almost like similar to Jade or a wizard, be able to inscribe them on or inscribe them in a similar manner. To be able to create your own runes also begins to run through your mind a possibility. All these might be efficient and essential to the likes of your and the Voden Knights' success. Regardless, they will take a significant amount of resources to do, but if you ever have the amount or just a bit of leftover resources and mana, definitely something you'd probably want to look into for sure, especially before the tournament. It'd be nice to be able to have everybody coming in with enhanced weapons before compared to everybody else.
Yeah, in time for sure.
So, with that, or that's basically how your sort of rune carving goes. Is there anything else you need to do in your office?
No, but I do have one question. So if I wanted to, would I be able to actually, do I know how to like transfer the runes now, or does that require more studying?
You'd be able to you're pretty confident in being able to transfer the runes now, but
okay.
You begin to think that maybe there are differing or the ability to sort of implant multiple runes onto one sort of item. All these sort of things are sort of going through your mind, but you'll have to see more about it later.
Okay. No, Agni probably falls asleep like at his desk as he probably stays up a little later than he should, working on this.
All right. As you're doing so, oh, and the last final thing. You will need, do you have so I know you're proficient with it. Do you actually have smith's tools or a jeweler's tool?
I think it's the other way around. I have smith's tools. I originally had proficiency with them, but I don't think I ever remembered I had proficiency with them. That was the whole thing.
Okay.
So before I was an amnesiac, I had proficiency.
Gotcha. Alrighty, so if that's the case, keep that in mind for the enchanting mechanics. You will need to get your hands onto some smith's tools or jeweler's tools at some point.
I have the tools. Yeah, I have the tools. It was one of my 3 items.
Proficiency in them at some point.
How would I go about it more so than what I'm doing already to gain proficiency in smith's tools?
Proficiency. So it's basically just using them, just pretty much using them over time and then training them, all that stuff. So if you ever say like, hey, I'm gonna, go in my office, I'm gonna work on some, enchanting some stuff or learning more about smithing and all that stuff, then yeah, you could easily do that. And over time, eventually you'd be able to gain proficiency with it.
Would I be able to help him because I also have smith tools?
Even better, you'd be able to learn way faster if someone's actually able to teach you.
Oh, okay.
All
So
right.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I could just remember it again.
Yeah.
But that's all good.
Yeah. So with that,
No,
oh, go.
no, no. I was gonna say, like next time you're trying, just call me over, and then I'll come help you, and I'll bring Azor with me. But then I would have to leave to go get my tools, and I'll come back and see what y'all two been up to.
Wait,
All good.
you don't have the tools on you?
I'm pretty sure. If not, you can always just craft them. That's always
Because
a good thing.
because we have two sets. Because Zaman had one, and then Agni had one. He can always just give his set. There's no need to craft more.
All right. So while this is sort of happening, meanwhile, you three, Zaman, Addy Dark, Gore, you guys are still waiting to capture any bits of more fish. Addy Dark, you've been sort of swimming around for the time being, just waiting for the 30, or waiting for anything to sort of be caught up. Eventually,
Yeah. Need a perception check for.
yeah, you can make a perception check, see if you find anything.
Trying to go deep in there. You know what I'm saying? Hit the floor bottom.
17. As you go further and further down, you look over, and there definitely is something sort of moving and shifting. Not a fish, though. You see as it begins to start with a little bit of speed to it. Sort of shadow, kind of like a little bit of a tendril begins to form and then sort of retract itself back, kind of below the likes of this massive little island over here. You look over, and I'm trying to just a little bit closer to see what's going on. You see another sort of tendril, shadowy figure begin to form and begin to vanish further and further underneath this area. What do you do, Addy Dark?
Oh, I'm like 50 feet below, you said?
You're more like 80 feet below, if anything.
I'm going to stealth check in. Let's go check it out.
All right, make a stealth check. 6. You believe yourself to be stealthy as you're sort of swimming about.
Yeah. Let me tell you, there's one thing Addy Dark is not very good at. Quietly entering a room.
As you do, you continue further and further, going down below, and you look over, and there seems to be just a strange sort of tendril just sort of sitting there. You get a better look at it this time, and it seems to be metal in nature. It's just sort of lying there on the ground, not moving, not shifting, not anything. As it's metal in nature, make a nature check for me. There we go. Just figure out what type of thing this may be.
Nature check. I don't think I've ever done one of these.
2? Bro,
I'm in tune with.
it's a robot. You chalk it up as like, hey man, all robots. Hey, that's all you gotta worry about. That's all you need to know.
Metal is a robot.
You look over.
Shiny. There's a robot in the corner, bro. They both look shiny to me, bro.
As this is sort of happening, you look over and it seems like, okay, that's sort of weird. You look for any sort of fish off to the side before looking around, sort of circling a bit. As you do a sort of 360, you notice as the tendril's gone.
Oh, it's just gone?
It's just gone. You just looked at it for a second, you started looking for fish for like 3-4 seconds, and the tendrils just vanished.
And can I swim closer to the area it was at?
Sure thing. As you begin to do so, you look over, and you begin to get a little bit closer, a little bit deeper down below. At this point, you're just sort of touching the little floor of this watery place. And as you do, looking around and about, make another perception check. $15. All right, as this is sort of happening, you look to see as there are more of these sort of tendrils, but it's not just one. It seems to be 2, 3, 4, several even. and they're sort of all sitting down for a brief moment before you look over, and just for an ever so slight moment, you see as there are these strange sort of glowing eyes for just a moment, and you see as they begin to turn from this sort of green hue to that of a red hue before you notice that multiple tendrils begin to start forming and heading your way. As soon as this happens, Addy Dark, here's what they're gonna do. You did survive, or you did succeed on the perception check, so they won't get advantage on it, but you see as these sort of robotic octopus tentacles begins to start forming over and trying to almost grab you for a moment. Here's what they're going to do. Now granted, they can't grab you, but they're still going to try to attack you. 1, 2, and 3 over here. All 3 of them are going to try to reach out and attack you. All right. First one's going to be a 16 to hit, 6 points of bludgeoning damage. Second one's going to be a 23 to hit, 10 points of bludgeoning damage. And the third one is going to be a 19, 13 points of bludgeoning damage. You see as all the tendrils begin to wrap around you, beginning to try to almost strangle you to death. However, you in the likes of the werefog form are able to sort of slip out of its grasp and more. As you're trying to sort of swim back a little bit to gain a little bit of ground, you see as more and more of the tendrils are sort of writhing towards you. Addy Dark, what are you doing at this moment in time? You are like down below in the depths of this sort of water.
Oh man, this is unfortunate because I never shy away from a fight.
This was unfortunate.
Oh man, here we go.
Just trying to be nautical, you know what I'm saying? Trying to be my best scuba diver. I think at this point, I mean, I just got to try and fight him. I mean, that's all I can do. So I'm gonna rage. Let's do this shit.
All right, let's do this. Oh boy, this is gonna be something. All right, Addy Dark, as you begin to do so, I'm gonna change the music over here. Peace. Play.
Because I'm many feet below the leagues. Right?
You are a total of about 100 feet down below. Yeah, 100 feet down below.
Man.
You are down under.
I am spelunking. I am trying to find.
All right. While this is sort of happening, bam. Come on, stop it. There we go. All right, I need you to roll for initiative, Addy Dark, if you can. Oh God, they're rolling hot.
They rolling hot right now, bro. How do you roll for initiative when your character's not there again?
If you go to the top right of the screen, you'll see the sword icon. If you click that, you'll see Addy Dark, and you'll notice the D20. There you go. All right, 14, that's going to be good, but we'll see if it is enough. As this is sort of happening, you'll see as that more of the sort of robotic tendrils begin to start forming over towards you. They begin to get closer and closer, and as this happens, you'll see as one of them begins to send out towards you and begins to try to start strangling you to death. Let's see what's going to happen. I'm going to use their bit of movement. They can't move too far, but they can move far enough. Actually... you know what? Yeah, they're gonna do this. All right, first thing is gonna be this guy. He's gonna attack once, 18 to hit, 10 points of damage. As this sort of strikes you, you see as you almost get, you swear you're fighting Cthulhu face kill Cavuli as you just get tentacle slapped immediately across your face. As this happens, As this sort of happens, you almost begin to start bleeding from the legs of your forehead, but that is its turn. All right, next up is this guy in initiative. You'll see as bits of these sort of tendrils are forming around you. However, an explosion of sort of black ink begins to occur, and your vision begins to almost get completely sort of obscured. Let me see if dark vision gets rid of this or not. I do not believe so, but they're going to use Ink Cloud. It's heavily obscured for 1 minute. Gonna disperse the ink. Yeah. So yeah, you just go almost completely blind for a moment, even through the likes of the dark vision and more. As this happens, you don't know where everything is, and you're just kind of playing on the defensive for a moment, trying to find any sort of tendril. With that, you'll see as one of the tendrils are gonna start moving off to the side, and that is, there go. And they're gonna move as well. You would get an attack of opportunity, but you can't see them to take a said attack of opportunity.
Right now.
All right, next up is Adidark. What would you like to do? Your vision is completely obscured. You can try to get out of the ink and more, but it is a 20-foot radius. If I can draw this on the map, it is about that big.
Lord don't see nothing, don't hear nothing, no sploosh, no splash, nothing.
He's all the way down below.
I mean,
that man deep in there, bro.
Nautical, bro.
So
next time I should have brought a string. I should have brought a string or something. Tug on the string.
Dude, I can't even like I can't even
when the party splits up, bro.
Yo, Gore was looking around in the water too.
Oh, don't worry, I got you, Gore, because you did say that. I got you at the end of this round.
Right. Yeesh.
Oh man. All right, what you doing, Addy?
So do I have movement? I don't even.
Yeah, you have movement. You're free. You're not grappled or anything. It's just you can't see anything.
Well, I'm gonna try and dash to the surface then, since I can't see anything. And I think I know which way's up because I'm on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So is there any way to like rip off the ground and try to just keep on going? Yeah, torpedo up as I can to get out of this blinding darkness.
I'll tell you what, make an athletics check using your barbarian strength to give you a little bit of an extra boost as you soar upwards. 13's not bad, but it's not also good.
Not good.
Nah,
I mean,
yeah,
I don't
you got
know.
any inspiration or anything?
Frog legs. I'm just saying, they are frog legs.
That is true. I'm giving you the athletic check because you got the frog legs.
I was doing advantage athletic checks earlier. That's the only reason why I asked.
Oh man. So nah, it's not gonna be enough with the 13, sadly. So you soar upwards, trying to get as much distance as you possibly can.
No, the second one's 25.
No, I was saying you don't have advantage. It's just a straight roll for the athletic check. Nah.
Come on.
I was giving you the athletics check because you're a frog right now at this moment in time, and because you're a barbarian. But as you begin to soar up, you move up a total of around 30-ish feet as you're using, I assume, the dash action to do so as well, right? Yep. All right. So as you begin to do so, you're swimming up further and further up below or up above. At this point, Gore, make a perception check.
Right.
Oh man, goodness gracious! You got any inspiration? Now may be a good time.
I guess one other thing. Sorry, my bad. I should have said this earlier. I was thinking bonus action, shift. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. You can hit the button, and I'll give you the temp HP and everything. Let me adjust your AC as well. Let's try the shifter. All right. But Gore, you got any inspiration or anything like that?
My dark vision ain't been long enough to do it yet. Yes.
Oh, I will also say, keep in mind, Zaman, that nat 20, that is a nat 20 for this session and this session only. It does not carry over. Keep that in mind. All right. So, 10 temp HP. I'll give that to you. It already did. Perfect. All right, Gore. Yeah, you're swimming. You are swimming like Finding Nemo. You do not see anything right now, but hopefully in a bit, maybe you will.
Yes.
All right. As this is sort of happening, Tentacle's turn. This one is going to keep sort of soaring off to the side. That is all it's going to do. Next up in initiative is going to be this one. He is going to rush over. He's going to use, a bit of his movement. You'll see as the tendril begins to just shoot up out towards you and begins to try to wrap itself around your ankle and just drag you down to the depths of hell. As it does so, it's going to make an attack roll. Tentacle attack. Dang, these guys are rolling freaking ridiculous. That's gonna
Yo,
be
bro, I
24 to
I
8
swear,
points of
whenever we
damage.
go hunting, these creatures have been waiting for this moment, bro, to shine. Whenever we go hunting.
First off, they're going hunting.
Right,
All
bro.
the prey.
Every time, bro.
He saw a frog. That Octopus was like, I'm hungry.
Bro, he's trying to
We get
Man, I want some
frog
fried frog
today.
legs for dinner.
Yeah, bro. This is wild.
So you'll see as they begin to try to wrap around your ankle, they begin to almost crush it for a brief moment, almost breaking it. But that's it. That's all they can do. Next up in initiative, this.
Sorry, one other thing. It didn't
Yes.
half the
Oh,
damage.
That's because you're not raging right now. That's why. Your rage would have fell off a long time ago, from earlier, because rage only lasts a minute, and that fight was like 30 minutes ago. What's up? Oh, you're muted. That's why.
It's just slops. It's just slops. That's all it is. Just slops.
Yeah, so if you want to rage on your next turn, that would be probably the best bet. In the meanwhile, all right, Gore, here's what you do see. You look over and you see as one of the tendrils is sort of starting to form and fly almost directly past you. As this is sort of occurring, you look over and you see as one of the random tendrils seem to be robotic in nature, and it doesn't seem to be paying you too much attention, but it just sort of soars past. As it does, it'll move a little bit more off to this side, and that is its go. Addy Dark, you receive initiative. What would you like to do?
I think I should rage.
All right. That being said, as you enter a rage, you begin to embody the werefrog once more, and that is your bonus action. All right, you have an action though.
Is how close is it to me?
This thing is like only 5 feet. They are within punching distance.
Okay, and can I see now, or am I still in the ink blind?
You can see now. That was you were able to swim up past that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll
get rid of this now.
I'll try to duck this dude.
All right, make some attack rolls. Let's see what you got. 21 to hit. That will do it. 5 points of damage. Also, let me add the rage damage as well. So as you swing forth, you immediately just sort of almost send an elbow strike towards it, breaking bits of the scrap metal, but you do have a second strike if you want to take it. 27, that's what we like to see. All right. 14 points of damage and another 3 points as well. And you have the crusher feat, right?
Yeah.
So that's gonna knock him actually 5 feet back, so you won't take an attack of opportunity. But describe, what does this strike look like as you crit him with a nat 20?
Oh man, I feel like I'm just trying to like rip the metal off of him because I feel like he's just so close. So I'm just kind of shredding off like chunks of the metal.
All right, as you do, you rip pieces of the metal off, tossing it off to the side, striking into the individual, trying to get them to let you go and continue swimming up free. As this happens, as you rip off one of the huge portions of the sort of tendril, like specifically like the tip of it, you see as it begins to almost back up and writhe in pain for a brief moment in time. As it does, you send it downwards a little bit more, and that is your action. If you want, you can swim up further.
Yeah, whatever I can swim upwards.
All right, 15 more feet. That said, I'll tell you what, I'll give you an athletics check to see if you can go a little bit faster. Werefrog form and Barbarian Rage. 26. All right, I'll give you a little dash action. So that means you go up another 30 feet, which should mean 100 plus 30, so 70. So you are a total of 40 feet down below. Let me mark this down. All right, negative 40. There we go. So as you're continuing to soar up and up, at this point, Gore, you can kind of make out and see Addy Dark sort of trying to swim up from down below. They seem very, very bloodied and a little bit worse for wear. With that, Gore, you can roll for initiative.
Streams of blood. There's streams of blood as he's swimming upwards.
Roll for initiative. Ooh, man, I haven't done this so much.
Let me add you over here. There you go. All right, 19 initiative. That's when you will go. Alrighty. With that said,
can I yell? I think he would yell to Zaman. He'd be like, "Greedy one!" When he just saw the tentacle that flies past, he'd point at it and be like, "Greedy one, do you need some private time with that one? I'm gonna help the furry feathery one."
Do I see what he's pointing to?
No,
There's
it's
a
just
tentacle above.
Tentacle that flew by me.
make a perception check, Zaman. See if you see the ripples in the water at least.
Copy.
Because this thing is still underwater over here.
Oh, copy. My bad.
14. I'll give you that. You see a little bit of ripples in the water. You're not entirely sure what it is, but it seems not normal. Maybe it's a fish or something.
Copy. Zaman looks at Gore and says, "Is there something of danger going on?"
You'd already been underwater, bro.
Well, Zaman just looks and says, "All right, I guess I'll just look and see if something happens with this ripple."
All right. So while that's happening, Gore, you're getting ready to get added into initiative. Addy Dark's turn is up. Next, Tendril over here. He is going to keep on soaring out this way. That is this sort of thing. All right, he is gone from combat. He's going to do something else off to the side. All right, he is able to escape. All right. Next up, so Zaman, as you're sort of walking over, you look to see as one of the tendrils is sort of writhing up off to the ground, and you see as it's beginning to sort of look about, and you notice as some of the tendrils themselves, kind of similar to the Sewer King, have these strange sort of eyes attached to it. Not very big, but small enough to the point where small but glowing to the point where you can actually notice it. You look over, and as it's sort of writhing out of the water, or begins to writhe out of the water for a brief moment, it begins to slowly seep back down below about another 10 feet. With that, Zaman, what are you doing?
It says 10 feet into the water.
Mm-hmm.
This may be dumb. I don't think Zaman will do that.
There's a question on whether you're joining combat or not, basically.
I saw the tentacle. I'm assuming that I can tell that's probably something dangerous.
Yeah, anything that big, probably trying to kill somebody.
Yeah, he's gonna join combat, and he's gonna join combat.
All right, that said, roll for initiative. All right, 5, so you will be when we come on back. So let's go over to the top of the round. All right, let's go. So this individual over here is dealing with the likes of Addy Dark. You'll see as it begins to soar up once more, and as it does, you'll see as it begins to try to wrap around not only Addy Dark's ankles, but it will try to almost completely restrain him for just a brief moment, wrapping around his body and trying to crush the life out of him before he slips away. He is going to make another attack roll. There we go. 22 hit, 10 points of damage. Addy Dark, you will take only 5 damage because you are raging. But just as it does,
bro.
Another day. You slip out and you continue forward, but you see as it's trying to almost rip your entire arm off in the process. But that's all it's got. Next up in initiative, we have Gore.
All right. I guess Gore swims up. At what point would I realize he's going down?
You look over and you're kind of having to swim further and further down. This is going to be a process. So, yeah, you're going to have to go all the way down, and you do not have that much of a movement speed. Well, you have 20 feet of movement from walking, so that's going to be halved entirely. You're going to have only 10 feet of movement just swimming. You're not the best swimmer.
Throw that axe. If you don't throw that axe, bro.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, all I need to know is if I can see what's going on. That's all I need to know.
You saw Addy Dark. You see the you would see the tendril as well. It's gonna be a bit of a throw. I'll tell you that much, though.
Okay. I think if he saw him getting choked, he would throw it at the tentacle.
All right, make an attack with the axe, but you will have disadvantage as you're sending it 40 feet down below in the water.
Now I want to say, my crusher feat gives him advantage. So can he cancel it out?
That is true.
Okay.
Oh boy.
I got that crit.
Hey, roll, no pressure.
That is true.
I rolled,
he doesn't need advantage. He doesn't need it.
No more major releases, bro. No more major releases right now.
All right, Gore, that's a nat 20, a total of 29. As you look over and you see Addy Dark sort of swimming for their life, You look over and you see the tendril getting ready to wrap around them once more. How do you want to do this?
Oh man. So is dead or not?
Yeah, I think it's that tendril is dead.
So basically, Gore's just it comes and it smashes across him. Are we still in combat? That's what I need to know.
Yeah, you still are. There's a giant one behind you.
But we can't yell or talk underwater, can we?
No.
Nope.
Gore would look at Addy, and his look on his face would be like, what happened? And grab the axe and swing like the axe, like crush it next time. Crush it. Like, and go, he calls it back, and I guess, would I still be able to see this one?
Going back? Yeah, you'd be able to probably see that one as well. Not too hard.
Oh, yeah. Well, then I forwarded that one.
All right, so you call that axe back as a bonus action, just throw it again. All right, make another attack roll over here.
Okay.
16 to hit, 11 points of damage, not bad. As you send it flying, it strikes into the entire tentacle and begins to sever a decent piece of it off. As it flies down, seeping down further and further into the lake. That is your action. That is your bonus action. You have a bit of movement if you want to fly around.
Wherever it gets me close to the tentacle.
All right. Yeah. You have your full flying speed. You haven't actually like gone further and further down in the water.
I want to. Well, actually, this is here. How far is it away from me right now?
Pretty much the same. Oh yeah, you can't see the map.
I'm basically just trying to get myself probably about 15 feet outside of this range.
15 feet out of range. All right, you can just move basically like right here. Over off there.
Thank you, sir.
All right. As you move out and about, that is your go. I will move your token over there. If I can. All right, next up we have the tendril off to the side. It is going to begin to start writhing again. You'll see as it begins to start almost going wildly as you begin to send the axe towards it. At this point in time, you'll see as some of the eyes upon it will begin to start glowing red, and immediately will begin to start circling back around underneath the legs of the bridge, and then directly towards you, and is going to try to strangle you out from the sky. All right, it's going to rise back up with all of its movement, and it is going to hit you, Gore. Tentacle attack. That's going to be an 18 to hit, 12 points of damage as it begins to wrap around and almost restrain you entirely. You are considered grappled, Gore. All right.
It lost movement speed, right? It that didn't affect it all. I just gotta ask the question.
Nah, it didn't. This thing has a lot of movement speed.
Gotta ask.
All right, that's done. Addy Dark, what would you like to do? Afterwards, it's Zaman. You're muted if you're saying anything.
I got 15 feet of movement. Yeah.
Yeah, you ain't really being able to do much, especially if you're dashing to get to 30 feet, but you still won't be in range to like actually hit him.
Oh, so he's not. That is not like so the.
Yeah, because you're down below. Remember.
Oh, I'm still below him. Okay,
yeah.
Okay. How far away am I?
Yeah, you're 40 feet away, and then an extra 15 feet. Yeah, you're pretty much the only thing you can really do right now is just dash, keep swimming up.
Double dash it is.
All right, 30 more feet. There you go. And continue upwards, and at this point, you look over and you can see as the entire battle is playing out before you. Zaman, what would you like to do as you receive an initiative? Trog is gonna actually see the tendril happening now. He was focused on everything over here, so he will join initiative afterwards.
Copy. Zaman is gonna look and see what the situation is, and he's going to conjure animals. He's gonna conjure 4 of reef sharks.
Reef sharks, you got it. Let me see if I can go find those on D&D Beyond. All right, and what does this look like while you're doing so?
You see, you see Zaman just sit there. He's like, here we go, and then he's just like, he like uses like his mineral forms, and he's like puts them into the water, kind of like tendrils, and then he just forms these 4 mechanical sharks.
As this begins to happen, you'll notice as they begin to start forming out and get dropped into the sea, As this begins to happen, they'll begin to start swimming over directly towards the octopus. With that, I will give you permission to control them. Where is your name? There we go. Owner. Nope, not observer. Owner. All right, you should be able to control them. If not, let me know.
Yep, I can move them.
All right, there you go. So they take their turn right after you. You can make some attack rolls with them as you wish. As the reef sharks begin to start circling around the tendril and begin to start, I assume, ripping and tearing into him. Let's see what you got.
Yep, they're gonna do bite attacks at an advantage because they have pack tactics. Did I do that right?
Let's see.
I don't know why I didn't roll. Hold on. Try to see.
You didn't target him.
Ah, yep. Rust. There we go.
All right, 12 to hit for the first one. Oh god, what the fuck? The fuck is that? I don't even fucking know. Fucking random ass Arasta spider coming in again. What the fuck? Yeah. Alright. Alright. That being said, that is a 16 to hit for the second one, 12 for the third one, and 14 for the last one. That being said, oof, all these sort of reef sharks begin to bite down into him and begin to rip and tear him to pieces. With that, is that your...
I think I got one more attack.
One more attack?
12, 16, and 14. Yeah.
One, two... Yeah, you got one more. Apparently so. Chat. Apparently so. 23 to do it, and 4 points of damage. How do you want to do this, Edmond?
You see, as these sharks appear, they just start ripping and tearing and completely devouring this mechanical tendril into absolute pieces. It's like it's like a Sharknado.
Oh boy. All right, as you do, you begin to sort of start tearing the likes of the scrap metal off to the side, and with that, there doesn't seem to be any more tendrils apparent. With that, you guys are out of combat for the time being. Looking around, eventually, Addydark, you begin to soar upwards towards the likes of the, you know, back up to the sort of surface. You do look down and you do see as some of these sort of mechanical sharks are biting into this octopus. So it is what it is on what you want to do regarding that, but you are now up and free to do what you wish.
I think the one tentacle. Can I salvage that while I'm down here? Or
yeah. You just make a survival check for that.
Would Gore have noticed the eyes on it?
Yeah, you would.
Gore definitely has debts to pay, so he would definitely go ahead and grab those eyes no matter what.
All right. That being said, let me get this going for 1 second. That did not work. That didn't work. There we go. Nope, stop it. Oh my god.
One thing of note, Sensei, these sharks I thought were large, but I could be wrong.
Which ones? The
reef ones?
Nah. They're medium. I basically ripped them straight from the D&D Beyond thingy.
Gabby, never mind.
Alrighty, so with that, your survival check for 6. It's more so you can do it, but it's just at another time. You're just more so worried about the fact that you're kind of bleeding to death at the moment, near death, probably a little bit woozy. You're struggling a little bit to sort of take the pieces and sort of put them into a bag right now. I said, Addy, as you begin to do so, you gain pretty much just one material stock from the likes of the octopus for the time being. Gore, you can make your survival check for the other tendril, though.
Okay, will do.
Eight. Looking over towards it, you're trying to figure out where exactly the eyes were, and they kind of closed on you. So you're not entirely sure which one is the eye, which one is sort of the suction cup, and you're struggling a little bit as well. You get a little bit of materials from the scrap metal, but that's about it. With that being said,
can I?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, that's you.
I was gonna say he was gonna Zaman. After all that, he was just gonna have the sharks like hunt to find like
Do I have
the
advantage
actual
on this power
octopus.
check? Sorry. Random.
Random
No.
thing. Do you have advantage? What for?
It says track fiends, Fae, and all that. Just
Nah, these are just robots.
check. Just check.
All right. What were you saying, Zaman?
He's going to send the sharks to try to find the source of the octopus, like where the actual octopus is located.
All right. So if you're trying to find the source, you send all of the reef sharks down below as they begin to start hunting, kind of coming from the likes of where Addy Dark showed up from. As they're doing that, I'm gonna make a couple rolls for them, and they're gonna be doing their whole thing for the time being. All right.
Happy.
All right. See what they find in the or in a bit. You look over, and Trog will kind of see. Oh, is everything okay? What happened? Looking kind of towards Addy Dark.
It seems some trouble happened down below while Addy was doing what he was doing. How is the fishing coming along, Trog?
Good, but definitely not bloody like that over there. Addy Dark, are you okay? You're muted for saying anything. There you go.
Is Gore there too?
Yeah, Gore's there as well.
How many tendrils did you slay?
The one that was on you, and then the greedy one finished the other.
There's a third.
And then he jumps back in the water, bro. Back in the water, bro. He said there's a third, and he jumps back in, bro.
Easy peasy. Just jump right back in. Big old cannonball splash.
Yep. And yeah. Gore would swim above the water in the direction, and I think he would. No, he's already jumped.
Nah.
He would try to follow him above the water as much as he could.
I mean, he's going straight down, I'd assume, right?
Are you going straight down or are you going out?
Yeah, he's going straight down.
I'm diving, bro.
Jesus Christ. Gore can't do all the movement I had, bro. I can't do shit for you.
It is what it is, bro. Zaman is... while they're doing that, Zaman is going to try to discreetly contact this voice that was talking to him earlier.
That's crazy. Man. I said we need to go fight something, and you go talk to yourself, bro. That's what you do. That's what you decide to do, bro.
Bro, you clearly didn't say nothing to me. You was talking to Gore, bro. Did you say, Zaman, I need help? Nah, bro. You was talking to Gore. He let you talk to Gore.
To everybody, bro. Everybody was in speaking range.
Bro, he did not hear you.
Yeah, all right, bro.
Right next to me.
Yeah, bro.
He did not hear you, bro.
There, bro.
Trog is gonna look over. It's just like, we should probably help him.
He said, "Nah, I'm gonna talk to this voice."
Nah, I got
yours, bro.
If you don't look over fishing net, and Trog's gonna just go dolphin diving here. Basically, kind of like a gator is just gonna start swimming down.
Zaman's gonna look over the net.
So, oh man, you'll see as Zaman is just looking over the net, almost like a torpedo, because Trog actually has a swimming speed and he's a rogue. You'll see as he just begins to almost rush over down. You'll see as he begins to almost touch base immediately, looking around and about, kind of almost keeping pace with the likes of the sharks and more. With that, Addy Dark, I assume you're just sort of, again, going further and further down after these sort of tendrils. Muted.
Bro, I saw 3, bro. The fight's not done till all the enemies are gone, bro.
All right.
There's 3 of them.
As it's sort of happening, you look over and you see as the tendrils themselves that seem to be almost gathering forth for a brief moment. And make a perception check for me, Addy Dark. $22. You'd look over and far off to the side, you'd see as there is a massive sort of strange sort of shadow that is sort of forming off to the side. And you see as it is sort of fleeing, and it is fleeing rapidly. it seems to be the tendrils are sort of coming along with it. Considering that it was an octopus tendril, you could probably assume the actual base octopus is sort of almost swimming away. It is fleeing the scene. As this is sort of happening, you'll notice that Zamon's reef sharks are still just sort of chasing after it regardless. They're not giving a fuck. They're after the hunt. Question is, Addy, do you continue following after the reef sharks, or do you just let them do their whole thing?
I mean, how quickly? I mean, I assume they're swimming.
They
It's
move at
moving.
40.
It is moving fast. Like they are bullets in the water.
Seems as if it's fleeing. I would accept that as fleeing at that speed.
Yeah, they're moving at like 120 feet per turn. They are dashing.
They're out of sight, bro.
Yeah. That you'll see as the reef sharks are sort of going after it. Trog's gonna kind of swim for a bit. Hunter mentality. Yeah, he's gonna be gone for a bit. He's gonna go after it with the sharks. He's just gonna be swimming. That eventually, Addy, Dark, and Gore. You notice as they're sort of fleeing, and eventually, I assume you come back up to the surface, right? Or no?
Yeah. Gore's only gonna do the best he can. This ain't his purview.
You swim like only for a little bit, and you just realize that this is not you. This is not you.
Yeah.
You swim back up, wings wet, but you're still good to go. You look
He
around.
is trying to
go ahead.
the rough that it went out. That's all. Like, he would try his best to do his best.
All right. While that's sort of occurring, we look over towards the mom. What were you trying to say to this voice or individual?
Zaman's gonna say, how dare you attempt to control my body? These are my powers. I own them. Do it again, you may regret it.
Zaman, make a Constitution saving throw.
Yo, I'm gonna use the nat 20, bro. I'm gonna use it right now. I'm gonna use that nat 20, bro.
That's probably smart. Zaman, as this begins to happen, you feel over towards your chest, specifically like where your heart used to kind of be. You feel a very almost crushing sensation around it. However, you know, as you begin to almost feel that sort of presence getting ready to wrap around it, you use the minerals, you begin to sort of harden your soul for a brief moment in time, steel your resolve. You begin to almost try to grit your teeth for a bit of moment, sort of subdue the pain. As this is sort of happening, you'll see as the voice begins to speak for just a moment and say,
Fine. You have a little bit more fight than I give you credit for. But this is not over. This is only the beginning. The beginning to a fun-filled friendship. Speaking of friends, it seems to be that you're not alone. Not alone indeed. It seems fanged ones are approaching. Pay attention, fool.
with that, what do you say or do?
So let me get this right. He said fanged ones are approaching?
Yes, sir.
Zaman would say, we don't have to combat each other. What is the use that you have of my body? Maybe we have a similar agenda and can form some type of agreement.
No response for now. He's in a pissy
Copy.
mood.
Fair enough.
He is very,
Zaman,
you get the. It's funny because you can. You don't. It's very weird. You feel the emotion, but it doesn't make any sense because you're just like, well, I'm not angry or upset or whatever at something, but you just feel like a sort of another force being angry or upset.
Copy. Zaman would chuckle to himself, and then he'll look. He said, "Fang ones." He's most likely referring to night creatures. And then he'll yell out and say, I don't know if they're gonna be able to hear him, but he's gonna say, "Adidak, Goa, Trag, there may be night creatures present. We should be on our guard."
At this point, Addy Dark and Gore, you'd be kind of at this point just barely coming out of the likes of the sort of lake and moor. You do overhear this though.
Yeah. Hey, just one thing. I didn't realize Trog was like chasing after him. Like I would never leave a party member just solo dolo.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
So which they copy the night creatures or Trog? I'm curious.
Well, you wouldn't know that. Because if he was, he would still be chasing after Trog and everybody, making sure like they're good.
Trog just solo dolo it.
Yeah. So it would be, it'd be a couple minutes. So we'll come back to that in a minute. Gore, what are you doing?
Gore would be like, they had nothing to do with those creatures. We need to find them now. And Gore's still concerned about which way Addy went, but he also knows it's a little bit outside of his realm. So he's trying to watch it back for night creatures. He's gonna cast Detect Good and Evil and start zipping around everywhere.
All right. As you're zipping around everywhere, Detect Good and Evil goes off, and you are just soaring. Now, make an investigation check or a perception check for me, Gore.
I don't even know who he is.
16. Looking around and about, you don't really notice anything at the moment, or this moment in time. You sort of try to get a little bit of a bird's eye view, trying to see if you see anything, but don't really notice much at this point in time. You're looking around for a couple minutes. I'll come back to you.
All right.
Addy Dark, at this point, as you're sort of still circling over in the direction of Trog, you'll eventually see as he comes back, it's about five-ish minutes afterwards. Yeah, about 5 or 6 minutes. He comes back, however, he comes back alone. He begins to look over towards you and then kind of point up to swim upwards so we can, you guys can talk. All right.
Sounds good.
All right. As sort of happens occurs, Zaman and Gore, you'd eventually notice as Trog and the Addy Dark will begin to form up. Zaman, you would know as your connection has been severed from the likes of the Reef Sharks. They have been deaded.
Copy.
No need to roll for that sort of whole thing. They died. They most definitely died.
Figured as much.
All right. Eventually, you'll see as Trog begins to start sort of climbing up to this side and say, the sharks, they are destroyed. The creature, very powerful. Too strong for Trog. Trog, fight another day.
Not even mad at him.
Need big trap for that one.
Yes, Drog. We'll start looking to create one once we get back to the village. I think we've done everything we've needed to do. The last thing is to gather these fishes, and do I see this whatever that is over there? Is that's too deep?
Yeah, you'd see it. It's not that deep. It's pretty much sort of kind of right up amongst the sort of shore kind of deal.
Gore would be like, but for a factory one, greedy one says there's night creatures afoot.
I'm gonna tell you this right now, bro. You should have kept that to yourself, bro.
Hey, you think Gore wouldn't tell you?
No,
You talking to Gore?
No, it's all
Gore
good. It's all good.
will give you that information because he knows that's what you're about.
Yeah, bro.
He respects the cause.
I mean, yeah. Hold on a second. Addy Dark reaches back and grabs a hat. You guys know which hat he put on. Oh, it's a new creature hunting time, baby. Got the Van Helsing look. I look to Gore and I go, where? In which direction?
The greedy one spoke of them. Gore hasn't found anything yet.
Zaman, where? In which direction? And don't play coy, this is not time for that.
The direction I am unsure of. All I heard was fanged creatures are approaching, and they are nearby.
He moves closer to Zaman and grabs him, like starts grabbing him and shaking him. He said, "Who told you? And where are they coming from?"
Zaman is gonna use the owl bear to like pretty much face palm Addy Dark into the ground.
All right. As you do,
Hold on a second. You're gonna try and face palm me in the ground because I grabbed you by the shoulders. Didn't toss you.
It didn't sound like you was bro. You said you grabbed me and started shaking me, bro.
Did I say
This is what you said.
here we go.
You said you walked up to me, grabbed me, and started shaking me, bro. That sounded real aggressive to me.
It's all good. No. Okay, do your thing, bro. Do your thing, bro.
I mean, granted, Zaman make a wisdom check, Addy Dark make an athletics check. 10 versus 13. You'd see the owlbear would have enough strength. You'd have at least enough control over it to kind of push Addy Dark a little bit away, but not like shove his fucking face into the ground. Nothing like that.
Fair enough.
This thing is not combat ready yet.
Fair enough. That's good enough for him. He'll say, "Back up, calm down, get control of your emotions." Now, like I said, fanged creatures are approaching. From what direction, I do not know. We should be on our guard. If anything, we should probably go back to the village.
Where did you get the information from? Was there a werefolk nearby? Did a were-owl appear?
No. I'm in tune with the environment and the minerals around me. That's how I sensed it.
Zaman, Addy Dark, Gore. As you are having this conversation, you feel for some strange reason the environment, or you feel like a sort of chilling wind almost. It begins to grow cold for some strange reason. You look over and you begin to notice as a sort of strange blue fog or rolling mist begins to start forming around in the general area. You look to see what the heck is going on as it begins to slowly start consuming the entire area. A little bit of your vision begins to start getting, how you say, it becomes a lot harder to sort of see your surrounding companions. As this is sort of happening, every sort of breath or every sort of word you speak, you can start seeing each of your breaths. Make perception checks, all of you. Gore, you have advantage because you have the detect evil and good.
Oh.
Never mind. All right.
Make no difference, bro. Dice want what the dice want.
Gore, you're just kind of like zipping around, kind of in the opposite direction at the time. For the time, as you're looking the opposite direction and way, Addy Dark and Zaman, you look over and you see several shifting figures in the sort of fog. You see as some of them begin to have this strange sort of red, beady eyes for a moment. You see as some of them have almost multiple sort of, how you say, legs? Strange sort of spider-like creatures begin to start skittering up and around this sort of area. You see with your 22 and 18 on perception check as they begin to start crawling up amongst a rock, beginning to sort of sit there and wait for a moment as you see these sort of strange spider-like creatures with fangs about, sort of dripping blood onto the ground. You look over, and as they're sort of clinging towards the rocks, you begin to notice one of you specifically, Matty Dark, as there seems to be a woman with them. A familiar woman at that. She seems to have long black hair with these strange sort of spider legs protruding out of her back. The one that you saw with the dynasty from a long while ago. Specifically, when Azora was dueling with the coyote on the bridge. As you see this woman standing atop of the rock, sort of crouched down with multiple individuals sort of surrounding by them. You'll see as two shambling individuals begin to start almost forming off through the likes of the smoke. One by one, they begin to do so. As this begins to happen, you see as one, and then two begin to form. As this is sort of happening, you see as one final individual begins to join the likes of their ranks, and you see as where their eyes are, they begin to start seeping out more and more of this sort of cold mist about, sort of surrounding the entire area. Zaman, you look towards this individual. Something about them seems strange, familiar even. Look to see a woman, dark-skinned, dreaded hair and more, with these sort of fangs protruding out of her mouth, where her eyes are what are the strangest. You look over towards the eyes, and around the edges, you see as they're like frosted over a bit. Frosted over a lot like Azora's whenever she fights in general or uses any of her oculi abilities. As this begins to happen, you see she begins to draw a simple blade and begins to oh no! No! The Discord crash! No! God damn it, Discord! How dare you! No! Oh man. You hate to see it, y'all. You hate to see it. Oh man, Discord had to crash on me right there. That is funny.
Just wanted to go fishing. You should just change it, bro. Say you want to go hunting. Let's go TPKing, bro. Who wants to go TPKing with me?
He got corrupted.
Oh man, that is unlucky. I was just talking and then just bam, just got kicked out of Discord.
Well, what made it good was the last thing we heard was, and as this begins to happen, and you just disappeared. And it was like, what happened?
Get that Thanos stuff. Snap, bro, got dusted.
Hey man, I think that's the best way to leave it just how it is, because that's basically what happens. They get ready to start walking over directly towards you, and we're gonna see what happens next week on Valley of Dreams.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Wow, right.
Zaman, let me tell you right now, bro. This is not the time to be RPing, bro. Don't you dare start talking. Right now, bro. This is not the time to be RPing, bro.
So it's fortunate is not one of his clan, but he still has questions.
You're pretty confident. You are pretty confident, Zaman, that this looks like an individual related to Azora's clan.
Not little sis.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
Well, we'll have to pick it up and we'll have to figure all this stuff out next time. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for playing and all that good stuff. I'm gonna break down stream, so I will be right back. Be right back, y'all. All right, there goes the bot. I don't think. Do we raid somebody on Mondays? I always forget. It's like we end late, but I think we still raid somebody on Mondays. But in the meantime, Let me explain everything. Hello, everybody. Welcome to, or thank you guys for tuning into the stream. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Thank you all to the raiders and everybody who wanted to help support and all of that good stuff. Yeah, we got a raid into Party 2 GM. All right, sick. So yeah, for those of you guys who don't know, my name is SenseiSuplex. I'm a professional dungeon master who runs a giant living persistent universe like the one that you just saw before. All the games that you will see ran by me, they are all in the same world and they can affect each other in a multitude of ways. So if you guys want to get involved, maybe playing a game, maybe even or see the other campaigns in the future, all you got to do is just join the Discord. Join the Discord, get involved with the community, and have a fun old time after that. Oh wait, hold on. The command did not go off. Let me try that one more time. More RPG. There we go. There's switch. Also, make sure to follow the channel if you guys are new, as it does help us out tremendously. Make sure to go check out the YouTube version of this stream right now. Go like the video over there. I think we got 6 likes. Let's try to get us over to 10 likes if we can, and that would be best. All right, y'all. We're gonna go raid over to Party 2 with Haley and all of them. I will see you guys next time. We're gonna be coming back, I believe Wednesday. No, we're gonna be coming back Thursday, as we have our little chat with the likes of Nerdarchy, with the D&D Sensei Show podcast, as well as Atlas of Etheria. So I'll see you guys then. Goodbye. I guess no raid. They are not live at the moment, so it is what it is. All right, see you guys.